I want to do a podcast about films.
Cool. And the Golden Globes?
No, the Oscars, you fool.
So what? We pick a run of 5 years, discuss each movie, discuss what missed out, and rewrite history.
And argue about it.
But
yeah, something like that.
What an amazing idea to have come up on the spot like that with no preparation. Shall we do one now?
Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle. My name's Simon and I'm joined by my good friend Carl. And this week we are mixing things up and we'll be haphazardly dissecting the Best Picture winners from the 67th to the 71st Academy Awards, along with other associated nonsense from movies released in 1994 to 1998. Travesties and tearful speeches ensue. It's a Movie the Needle Oscar special.
You watched any movies this week?
This week, Jesus. Yeah, just at least one every day, you know. It's been quite fun. I've quite enjoyed doing it. Be a lot easier if you didn't have a job.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Could really fill that time. But hey ho. But yeah, quite the task you set, especially when I was on holiday for half of the prep period as well. So warning, dear listeners, I'm less prepared than Carl, which generally is true, but particularly for this one.
It doesn't always come across though, does it?
Well, not quite.
How was the holiday?
Holiday was really, really good. Yeah. I don't like to use superlatives about holidays because it feels like you're coming across as being a bit of a smug wanker, but it was excellent. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
I don't think you know what superlatives are.
Superlatives?
Yeah.
Like really good things, no? Superlatives? Give me an example of superlatives.
Would be like the best of something. No.
Yeah. Sure.
Excellent isn't the best.
Well, I didn't say, I said I don't like to use superlatives.
Oh, well, no, fair enough, yeah. Okay, I thought you would sort of said, but, you know, it was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Oh, you can check the tape. I don't think I said that.
Stand easy.
Yeah. Stand easy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, what have you been up to while I've been away?
I'm watching a lot of films, mate.
Well, there we go.
Funny stuff, though, on that. I sat down the other night to watch Manchester by the Sea.
You didn't actually watch it, though, did you?
No, because that was the night that you messaged me to tell me I'd watched the wrong year.
Well, you'd probably watched the right year.
Well, we'll get onto that, I guess. But yeah, so then I realised I had like another 4 films to watch, of which 3 of them were like 3 hours.
Oh, so close.
So genuinely, I was like, because this has been hard work as well. I mean, it's been fun, but it's been hard work because Oscars, a lot of them are very sentimental. And, you know, it's been a bit of a slog in places. And I've been on a little bit of a run of these like more sentimental ones. And I was like, right, I'm done. Now is as good a time as any.
Well, I was going to say, what happened in your life to reach the point where you could watch Manchester by the Sea? Like,
just
people died?
Watching a load
terminal
of
illness
sentimental Oscar bait movies. I thought, now's the time. We had a little exchange. I thought, no, I've not got time. So
crack on.
Yeah, close, but no cigar.
Oh well, maybe next week, eh? Maybe. We'll see. Just as a follow-up, slightly holiday related, but just following up, closing the loop on something we talked about before. So my podcast host / journalist / author that I'd arranged to meet whilst I was in Philadelphia. He's on the PHOI Eagles podcast. Did meet him. Got his book signed.
Yeah.
Bought his book. Books are expensive in the States. Jesus Christ. But anyway,
go on.
Bought the book. What? How much?
Yeah.
$28. Something.
Oh, right, okay. That's
quite a lot.
That feels like what?
I mean, it's fair. He put
hardback.
Yeah, and put a lot of effort in it. There's a lot of content in there, so fair enough.
It feels like what a book costs.
Yeah, passed on. I've never paid 28 quid for a book unless it's been a textbook. That's what I would say. Anyway, passed on one of our cards. I did realise on reflection that this might not be as useful as we first thought, as on his show, he is often teased about his lack of pop culture knowledge and having only watched about 10 films in total in his life.
Well, that's okay. So that'll give him a segue, right? To go, hey, I've discovered this hip new podcast. Yeah, Americans say hip, don't they?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So anyway, that's happened. So we'll just wait for the listeners to roll in.
Yeah.
But he was a very pleasant chap, so that was good. A very brief meeting, but very nice.
Yeah, there we go. I tell you, I think you might have this note as well, but thinking about our pod and getting out to the wider world. We had a good comment on the podcast recently, didn't we?
This is while I was on holiday as well. So it was quite fun. You get a little buzz on your phone and says like, oh, you've got a new comment. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Have a look at this.
What was the episode?
It was Lost in Translation.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just two idiots.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with, isn't it?
And part of me was like, oh, did we ask a question about something where that's an answer?
That's the answer.
To
if
it.
Two
and
idiots
like,
is the answer. What is the question?
I looked at it. It's not a film. It's not.
No.
Not so he's just.
I think
listened
he's talking
to it
about us, Simon,
and just gone. Two idiots. And to be fair, I mean, I'm comfortable that that's our branding and that's kind of our niche. So.
Well, like I said before, like our tagline could be "It's just two idiots talking."
Yeah.
Upon reflection, two idiots, much more succinct.
Yeah.
Straight in, bish bash bosh. Yeah.
Two idiots, needle, one film.
Two idiots.
Two opinions or something like that. Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks. I forgot his name. Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron was his name. Thank you. He didn't reply to our replies though.
No, I doubt he's given us a second thought. I wonder how he came across the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, well, thanks, Aaron. It's always appreciated. Any comments that come through, happy to receive them.
Yeah.
Don't have to be positive. It'd be nice if some of them were, but don't have to be. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, that's that was fun. I did chuckle at that.
That was good. Whilst I was away as well, did some movie locations.
Oh yeah.
So I went to Brooklyn Bridge on the in Brooklyn side of it, and did some shots of
must be a fair few
Past Lives. Well, Past Lives was one where I'd watched it quite recently, and it was very much like shots of New York and that's pretty. That's good. So I knew exactly where it was, found out where it was, recreated some of these shots with a 9-year-old photographer. That was quite fun.
Yeah. Do you want to share?
Some of them are on. Did I put them on Instagram? I think
you want to share your appraisal of your 9-year-old photographer?
Better than my wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah. But yeah, did that. Went to the Ghostbusters Ladder 8 fire station thing where that was filmed.
Yeah.
Also The Mask, that was filmed in there, where he takes his car for the for the thing, that same place. And then obviously in Philadelphia, the Rocky Steps and the Rocky statue. So that's fun. I should post my running up the stairs. Actually, no, I don't. No one wants to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd have had the balls to do that.
Or the stamina, let's face it, nowadays.
Well, yeah, stamina as well. I mean, it's not even a question of stamina. The knees may just fail on me. Because I would judge anybody doing that so harshly.
You mean whilst you were there, just looking at people?
Yeah.
Well, have you ever been to Pisa?
Yes.
Because
look, I've done that as well.
So funny. It's so funny
awful
to watch, just to look around and just see everyone just stood there with their hands up. There was some video that I saw on the socials where it was just a guy going around high-fiving everyone. Just putting their hands on like that. Just like, it's all good.
That's good, yeah.
But similar sort of thing. Everyone's there. That's what you do. That's what people do. And everyone looks a bit sheepish doing it.
Yeah.
But they go, I don't care. I've come all this way. So, yeah. Have you actually watched any films that we're not talking about today, by the way, recently? I know you tried to watch Manchester, but I see you didn't get there. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think it is just all these Oscar films. So I think there's maybe two. So we're talking about 25 films.
Yeah.
And I think there's maybe three that I didn't watch extras this last week.
But that you've watched recently.
I've seen in the last year.
Yeah.
Seen in the last year.
Yeah. There are some gaps for me. But I did watch some because, unfortunately, British Airways didn't have all of these movies that I needed to watch on the plane.
Yeah, what did you watch on the plane?
So I watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So the newer...
The fourth one.
The newer one, yeah. I enjoy all those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a fan of it. This was no exception. It was good. Does show how far mocap has come, because I did forget I was looking at apes at some point. It was just like it's very good. It's and very
because it wasn't bad in the.
Oh no, they're all good. Yeah. But we're doing a film coming up that's mocap heavy, and we'll see if that's just as good.
Well, it isn't.
No.
I know which film you're talking about. It isn't.
I also watched The Equalizer, the first one.
Oh, yeah, you were going to...
Yeah, so that was on my list of things because I was hoping not to like it so we could talk about it on the podcast as an episode. But unfortunately, it was hard not to like it. Denzel was having a ball.
It's really fun.
Entertaining as hell. And a great plane movie, actually. Really a good option for a play movie.
Yeah, it's
easy
really
watching.
Fun, really fun film.
And then I also watched. So this was on kind of my list because originally we were going to be even more expansive with our watching and include the actors and actresses, best actor and best actresses. But we realised that was a fool's errand, and no one's got enough time in the world. No. But The Bridges of Madison County. So that, although that was, I did watch it solely because it was nominated for Best Actress in 1996. There were no other films from around that period of time that were available on the plane. So we're not really going to be talking about this when we get there.
It was nominated for a Golden Globe, The Bridges of Madison County.
Was it? For best
Picture.
something? Yeah. Oh, they have those different categories. I don't know.
Well, for best
have
dramatic.
Yeah, and then not
then
comedy
and comedy is the other one. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not going to be talking about that when we get down to business. But speaking of getting down to business, I do feel a bit confused by it, Carl. That film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it wrong to get a semi whilst watching Meryl Streep and Clint Eastwood get it on?
This is not where I thought this question was going. Oh, dearie me.
I found it strangely arousing and
how old? Right,
stirred very conflicting.
Old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood was he wasn't looking young. Clint Eastwood, let's put it that way.
No, but we've talked before about how good he still looks, even old.
And Meryl Streep in this, right? So
yeah, she's not looking too bad
No,
either.
and she plays an Italian, so with Italian accent.
Okay.
In this, and I was a bit like, this could be
cringy.
Turns out Meryl Streep's really good at acting.
Yes, right. Okay. Yeah.
And the Italian accent was on point throughout, and it was actually thoroughly convincing. So yeah, faultless accent and strangely arousing. So there we go. And then the only other film that I watched whilst away, went to the cinema in the States because they do cinema as well. And I saw Here, the new Bob Zemeckis.
Bob, yeah.
Yep.
Friend of the pod.
Yep. Tommy Hanks.
Yeah.
But good Lord. Oh, they definitely had an idea for a premise. A premise? No, that's right. And they took it too far, to the detriment of the movie. Do you know the idea behind it?
I don't know. No, I know.
So it's basically a fixed camera.
Yeah.
In the same location.
What's it called?
Here.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Over time. And when I say over time, we're talking dinosaurs.
Right.
Through the ages and through
things. My word, that's ambitious, isn't
it? Yeah. Why they decided to go back to the time of the dinosaurs, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. The CGI part of it was shit as well. They've tried to cover far too much. It was so clumsily done in places. And actually, right, the format of that, because it's a fixed camera, it doesn't zoom in, it's literally just a fixed thing, that's it the whole time. You've got Tom Hanks there, acting his ass off. You can't see shit. Because, you lose quite a lot when you're not that close to them. And it's got Paul Bettany in it. It's got, good actors in it that can act and display this emotion. And it's only right at the end of the film where the camera moves and zooms in. And it's the most powerful bit of the movie because you can fucking see the actors' faces. So, I came out of that with an impression of it being ungood.
Yes,
quite
I like that.
Ungood.
I liked that phrase you used. Ungood. Yes. It's very ungood. Yeah.
Yes. So there we go. Anything else been going on, Carl?
No, not really. I mean, honestly, I've been listening to our podcasts a lot.
Any recommendations? Episodes for people that should catch up on if they missed it?
The In Bruges episode's quite good.
Yeah, get some good feedback on the In Bruges.
Yeah. But on the In Bruges one, we mentioned something around sort of figuring out when these episodes are going to come out and then trying to be topical. So basically we'll have to guess the news, won't we?
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to have a go at guessing the news for when this is going to come out?
When's this?
Yeah, this one will be like the end of November, won't it?
Yeah. What are we on? It'll be the 23rd?
Yeah.
Of November? I don't know. No, people. I don't know. There's probably some sort of climate change induced catastrophe.
That soon? Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah. Did we predict something on the In Bruges one?
No. Okay. We were just saying about how we're trying to. Because it's pointless talking about stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
Because by the time the episodes come out, it's sort of outdated and whatnot.
Indeed. And plus, it relies on people even listening to them when they come out.
So we'll have to sort of cast the news. It did also make me think about when we play these Dead or Alive games.
Yeah, they could be very outdated.
Well, what I'm going to do for the next one is I'm just going to go...
Say dead.
He's dead. And
You'll
go,
be right eventually.
Yeah, you'll go, no, he isn't. I'll go, yes, he is. And then you'll move on. But, yeah, at some point, you'll listen to the episode
30 years' time, you
yeah, well, he's right. 5 out of 5.
Leo's dead, told you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So.
Listening back to podcast, did you spot any corrections or anything?
Christ
that we needed
almighty.
to...
So the James Bond one?
Yeah, I've got one for that. Yeah.
Fucking right, strap in, I've got a few. Right, apologies and clarifications for the Bond special / Quantum of Solace episode. We were talking about gadgets and we forgot to mention the flying car in Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah.
It was real.
Yeah. It's what?
It's real.
Real?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's actually a car that's got wings that flies. It's owned by some collector in the States.
Yeah, a bit of an oversight in that one, fair enough.
Yeah, which was like...
You'd think a Bond fanboy would have mentioned that, to be fair. So,
well, this is the thing, isn't it?
Can't rely on me for this.
On the band... I've gone Pierce Brosnan again. James Bond.
Why are you choking? Stop it.
Yeah, so on the... You really like that, don't you?
It's really good.
On the Bond fanboy thing, so when I was talking about that in the intro... I was going to say this episode is going to do nothing to allay those fears, right? And then I sort of thought about that as I was saying it. I was like, well, no one's scared about me. And I just ended up saying allay that because I got stuck halfway there. That doesn't make any sense.
No. I think I actually did notice that whilst I was editing. I was just like, oh, it doesn't matter.
It's weird. And then on things that don't make any sense, when still teasing the whatever you desire quote, I said establish the providence instead of establish the provenance.
Yeah.
And I messaged you to say that. And what have you done with it?
I've clipped it up.
You've
and
clipped
put
it up and posted it, haven't you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You cunt. So yeah, that was
Look,
that was annoying. I should have.
I honestly don't think that a lot of people will know the difference between those two words anyway. So I think you're fine.
Yeah, but I know the difference.
I know. Well, that's why it's good. That's why I'm even happier that it's out there. But I don't think it's going to damage us in any way.
Yeah.
The only one I had is that I did say that Quantum of Solace wasn't actually used in the James Bond texts. I don't know why I even looked this up. I think I just doubted myself because I was like, maybe I was a bit too firm on that one. So I went and looked. Actually, yeah, it does use that exact phrase in one of the short stories. So yeah, my bad. And also, you sent another one, didn't you? Where I was wrong and you were right.
Oh, mate, I've got loads.
Are you still going? Okay,
I've got loads.
Right,
so I mentioned at some point we're talking about a thread carrying through, and I said, and of course this carries on from Quantum of Solace into Spectre. Of course, I meant Skyfall. Skyfall is after Quantum of Solace, not Spectre. The Bond fanboys will have been frothing at the gills.
Indeed.
Is that right? Frothing at the gills?
Maybe you froth at the mouth, but it's fine.
Yeah, unless you're a fish.
Yeah, unless you're a fish.
But then would you be frothing that?
Foaming at the gills? I don't
know. I mentioned the gap between License to Kill and GoldenEye as being due to legal disputes with Kevin McClory in the use of Spectre / Blofeld.
Oh.
I mean, they were disputes and they resulted in problems for the franchise, but they were separate issues.
Okay.
The reason for the gap was sort of wider in, let's say, other legal issues with the studio.
That's
so yeah, nothing
vague,
to do with the.
But nothing to do with that.
Again, somebody said that. Oh, that's nothing to do with
I think you'll find.
I also misattributed the pour it down the sink line, cut out the middleman. I said that was from Die Another Day. I meant No Time to Die.
Well, they've both got die in it.
And yeah, then the other one, the last one, No Jacket You Cunt.
Yes.
Which is for you. Because you were adamant.
Really was adamant as well. Like, in the fact that you sent that picture, I was like, fuck off. And I did a Google myself. I was like, fine.
Talking about Bond and Camille walking through the desert.
Yeah.
Well, she's wearing the jacket. She's not wearing the jacket. She is wearing the jacket. She's not wearing the jacket, is she, Simon?
No.
So
what he did there was she looked cold, put the jacket on her, then went, fuck you, I'm cold. I want the jacket. You can walk.
No, because as I pointed out to you on the podcast, he put the jacket on her when they were inside the cave.
Yeah, I know.
When they came out into the desert.
Yeah. I mean, why did he put the jacket back on?
Well, I don't know. It's just easier than
a bit warm, isn't it? Is it easier?
Looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah, just...
Who was right? That's what we should be focusing on.
Yes, I bow down to your superiority.
Oh, and take it a bit far. But...
That is something we do in our between me and Emma. So when one of us is right, we have to say that phrase.
Okay, right.
And then 13 lashes.
Yeah, 13 lashes, nice. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna pull on that thread. Never mind. We'll talk about that after. Good. Right.
14 for an orgasm. Sorry. Is that not what you were saying?
No,
okay.
That wasn't where I was going. We'll.
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind. Right. Yeah. Good.
Thirsty, Carl. You?
Oh yes, I am thirsty.
I think it might be time to unveil the ale. And we're mixing things up a little bit because usually Carl provides the ales. But this week, because I've been to the United States of America, and they do lots of things wrong, but the things they do right are cinemas, already talked about, and beer.
Yes, they do beer.
They do beer correctly. So, beer one.
Not Budweiser and PBR and all
proper
that
beer.
shit. Yeah, proper beer.
Proper beer. So, beer one. We're going to start things off with an IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company, but it's actually brewed by Two Roads Brewery in Connecticut. This is Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. So this is a wrestler whose most iconic years started in 1997 to 1999, slap bang in the middle of the period we are discussing today. So let's see if it's...
Have you actually picked these with the episode in mind as well?
I definitely didn't retrospectively fit this around. No. So let's see if A, it's stone cold, it's been in the fridge for a while, and B, if it's a stunner.
Yeah, excellent.
So let's see. Let's crack it.
Tasty beer.
Yes. It's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad.
Oh, you tease.
Oh, I mean, it could be the best of the three I've got. I mean,
okay, yeah. So these are all new to you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to expand my horizons as well. Anyway, we're going to start things off with 1995 Academy Awards, or Oscars as they are more commonly known, the 67th Academy Awards. So, just to be clear to everyone, these are the awards which took place in 1995. So, it's going to be largely films from 1994. And what we're going to do, we're going to list the Best Picture nominees, say what won, and then we will then tackle each of the nominees in alphabetical order, discuss any other movies from that year, and then finish with each of our revised list of nominees and our winner, and see if it's the same or different as the Academy and each other.
Well, I mean, it's going to be different to the Academies. Surely to God. Oh, well, are you just talking about the winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the winners might be the same.
Yeah.
But I can spoiler alert, none of my lists of 5 are the same as what the Academy picked.
Okay. So, 1995. So, Best Picture nominees were Four Weddings and a Funeral, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Shawshank Redemption, and Forrest Gump. Okay. The winner was Forrest Gump. So, let's talk about Forrest Gump first, because that is alphabetically the first film as well as the winner. Do you want to kick things off, Carl? Bit of Forrest Gump? Go for it.
Also won the Golden Globe, Forrest Gump. Was nominated for a BAFTA, but didn't win. So not quite the hat trick there. I was a little worried about this one coming into it.
Me too, after watching here. Jesus.
Oh, yes.
Same director, same stars.
Bobby Zemeckis and, the same stars and things. Yeah, so, I mean, I hadn't seen this in a very, very long time. And I had read a bit of revisionism on it, sort of labelling it as a bit of a right-wing mouthpiece, because it's very, very sort of nationalistic and obviously focuses on
America.
Vietnam War and all that sort of thing. It was pretty much exactly where I left it. I had fond memories of it.
Me too.
It was a nice, easy watch. It was a bit sad in places, but not so much. It was quite funny. I can't say that I know a ton of stuff about American history, and in fact, a lot of it's probably due to this film.
Yes.
But I enjoyed the little Easter eggs, if you want to call them that, as they kept putting them in various historical events. Yeah. So, I enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, very, very similar, actually. So I had very fond memories of watching this as a teenager. Really did like it. I even got the book sequel that there is for Christmas one year.
Oh, yeah.
And started to read it. I don't think I actually read it all, either because I couldn't be asked or it wasn't very good. Don't know. But as I say, having recently watched here, I was a bit worried that there could be a real reassessment needed on this, just as yours. But I think, it's got some flaws. It's not perfect, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I kind of get the way somebody could get annoyed at it if you take it, to be a bit deep, because it's not a very sensitive film to a lot of the stuff it touches on. I just think it's not doing any of that. It's a very, very light-hearted sort of
it's a bit silly.
Look at history. And...
It's sentimental for sure. Like it's got that, but it actually still hit me with the emotional punch. Did shed a couple of tears with this one. Did get me. Particularly towards the end, particularly.
The problem on that score it's got is Jenny's a cunt.
Oh yes,
that's the problem it's got there. And you could sort of say,
but she's his cunt,
and she's obviously had this really tough upbringing and all the rest of it. Yeah. But then you're sort of falling into that thing. Yeah, but the film's not that serious. It doesn't really. It sort of suggests, doesn't it, rather than goes into any detail on that. So,
and it's very much told through his attachment to her. So when he is feeling these things, that's where I got it.
I was just very, very frustrated with her.
Pull yourself together, woman.
Well, and the thing is, like, she's, despite, in theory, being the person that knows him the best, she doesn't half ask, Forrest, what are you doing? Why did you do that? A lot. It's like, you know why? Because he's simple and he's looking out for you, you daft tart.
What did you make of Hanks?
And then she basically patches him back in at the end, doesn't she? So, well, I need you now. I'm dying. So there's this little lad. How old is it? Not important. Doesn't matter. Why I didn't tell you, actually. But it's yours.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a bit of a weird decision from her to.
But joking aside, I mean, it is a little bit sad, and like you say, it's very genuine because we see it from his point of view. So it's very earnest.
And Hanks.
He was good.
He was good.
It's not
best actor winner.
How was he?
Yeah.
What? Who was he up against?
Travolta, Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, I mean he's better than
Paul Newman in Nobody's Fool.
No, I've not seen that.
No. Nigel Hawthorne, The Madness of King George.
I have seen that a long time ago, and I remember that being quite a good performance.
And Morgan Freeman, Shawshank.
Good performance. I think he probably was the best actor that year out of those five.
So. Yeah.
Tommy Hanks.
So yeah, he's got the charm, hasn't he? He's got the likability that comes with it. He can do the emotional heft as well in his own way as well. So
I like him. I think he's good.
Yeah, and obviously we talked about this being Zemeckis as well. Won the Best Director Oscar for this as well. And I think his filmography is actually pretty fascinating. Right, we're going to be discussing another one of his films coming up soon in our Christmas block. But he obviously had the Back to the Future trilogy.
Is he the Polar Express guy?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, and he got obsessed with that mocap thing.
Indeed. So
he
had
like 3 films in a row or whatever.
Yeah, the Back to the Future trilogy, the Who Framed Roger Rabbit in between 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2 for that. And then he has his Tom Hanks phase of Forrest Gump and Castaway, and then his mocap phase with Polar Express, Beowulf,
what year
and
was
Scrooge.
Castaway, sorry?
2000, I want to say.
Okay, it's a good film. I like that.
Yeah, it's one of those that I watched a lot. It always seemed to be on the TV, so I was just watching it. But then more recently, like any of his films haven't really left an impression on me except Flight. Have you seen Flight?
With Denzel? No, I haven't seen it.
I like that. And then obviously Here, which, as I've already said, was very ungood. But yeah. So yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. He's still making films and still doing different things with them. So does it deserve to be Best Picture winner? We'll have to wait to find out. You got anything else on?
No, that's me on Gump.
No? Okay, well, next F is 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh, I'd like to put 50p in you and watch you go here.
Yeah, so...
Tell the boys and girls at home what you text me.
I can't remember. Did I say
Well, I saw your rating.
Hateful film.
Yeah, and you rated this 1.5 on Letterboxd.
I did.
And I went, 1.5?
So
you said, hateful film.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, to be honest. Because
this light-hearted British rom-com.
Well, it was the first watch for me, right? I don't know how I'd managed to avoid it. I've never seen it before. And I wasn't a fan of it at all, as that mini review reveals. Now, I like Love Actually. We've been over this before. And
I like Love Actually as well. Yep.
Really like About Time, as we've already been over.
I don't.
Which you don't. But with this, it really hit me how unlikable all of the characters, including Hugh Grant's Charlie, are. And you said about Jenny being a bit of a cunt in Forrest Gump.
She's not got anything on...
They're all cunts.
Yeah, what's Andy McDowell's character's name?
Oh my God, and Andy McDowell. Jesus Christ, she's awful in this as well.
Yeah, what's the character's name?
I honestly, I can't remember.
Yeah. But she's... Yeah, she's really...
Ali? No?
Might be Ali. She's really...
I don't think that's right.
Really a piece of work in this.
But she's, A, a horrible character, and B, terrible acting in it as well. Like, has she ever acted before this film? I questioned. Obviously she has. It does actually make me terrified to rewatch Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Because she's like the big love interest in that as well.
Well, apparently I saw somebody say in the Letterboxd reviews, she's not very nice in that either. Acting-wise. Let's not talk about this too much, because I think this could make an appearance on the pod. Because I completely understand where you're coming from, because it's all the same places I come from on About Time. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you are coming to this now and you don't have any sort of attachment to it from when you've seen it.
Okay, right.
And I think I would describe this for me as a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Just as Love Actually is as well, because I don't necessarily disagree with the things you're saying. But yeah, let's part.
All right. I won't go into any more. Apart from, I am going to do a quick game of tag lies for you related to this film, and I'll come up with another game if we do this episode in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know the principle behind the game, tag lies, right? So I'm going to give you 4 tagline options, sorry, and you need to tell me which of them you think are real.
All right.
Okay. So I'll read them all, then you can talk about them. So the first one, he's quite engaging. She's otherwise engaged. Second one is...
that's shit. I don't know. I've not made my mind up yet, but can I just say, that is shit.
The second one is an outrageously funny affair.
That sounds poor and bland enough to be real.
Third one is 5 good reasons to stay single.
Interesting. Okay.
And the fourth one, love is in the air, run for cover.
That sounds crap as well. So I think the real ones are 2 and 3.
They're all real. And they're all shit.
Yeah, none of them are great, are they? Yeah.
Yeah. But, so anyway, it's got 4 taglines, real taglines, which is the most I've ever seen for any movie. But yeah, there you go. Quick game of taglines for you.
Lovely.
All right, well, we move on to better films. Let's say.
Just before you do move on, so that wasn't nominated for a Golden Globe, but it did win the BAFTA for Best Picture for Weddings.
For the comedy and musical?
No, for
drama. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So there you go.
I mean, surely it comes under. Was it not trying to be funny?
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it was. So nominated at the BAFTAs that year were Forrest Gump, 4 Weddings, Pulp Fiction.
Oh no, BAFTAs. I'm getting confused with Golden Globes. Sorry, BAFTAs don't do the comedy.
That's
drama.
probably why it wasn't.
Yeah,
nominated.
That makes sense.
I've not got it on my list. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, don't mind.
So I bet it was nominated for the Golden Globes in that category, but I didn't look at that category. Yeah, because who cares?
Okay, Pulp Fiction is next.
Yes, nominated for all 3 Oscars, Golden Globes, and.
Now, I didn't rewatch Pulp Fiction for this for the purposes, but I've seen it relatively recently, so enough that it's refreshed it in my mind. It's a very culturally significant, I think, film. Very fun.
When did you first watch Pulp Fiction?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think I don't know actually. Yeah, I don't know actually. I was going to say like when I was like 17 or something. But I don't know.
I'm similar.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you for sure though.
Yeah, I'm similar.
But yeah, it's not my absolute favourite Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, but it is very good.
What is your favourite Tarantino?
Weirdly, Kill Bill.
No, I don't like that one.
Yeah, well, I think it's mainly because of when it came out. I was at university and I went to see it and then watched it lots of times with friends and things. So I think it's kind of built it up in that way.
Yeah.
And plus opened up other parts of cinema and stuff that I wasn't familiar with. But yeah, it was rightly nominated, I think, in all of the major categories. So it's got Travolta, who said for best lead, Samuel Jackson for supporting, Thurman for supporting actress, and Tarantino for director. What do you make of Pulp Fiction?
So I watched this after a run of the more sentimental,
that's a good
American films, and the way this hits after that, it's just
a breath of fresh air.
Amazing, absolutely a breath of fresh air. So there's no real story in this; it's all plot, right? And it just moves through from segment to segment, and it feels like I don't know how much of this is true, but it feels like Tarantino has just gone, I'm going to put all of the things I think are cool into a movie, and I'm just going to work them in.
But it does work as well.
It really works. It really works. Just an absolute treat. I loved it. And I think, I know this isn't what we're doing, but I think of the 5 nominated, I think this is the best film here. And like you say, it's culturally significant. It really wasn't his first film. I think Jackie Brown was his first film. I think it was his second or third. Had he done Reservoir Dogs before this?
Yeah, so I think I agree with you in what you just said there, that of the 5 that were nominated, I would probably put this.
But it's the one that really sent Tarantino into sort of overdrive as like, this guy.
I think it was the most sort of accessible, weirdly, considering how odd it is as well.
I completely agree, though. Yeah,
but it's got proper stars in it. You know, Bruce Willis is in it. John Travolta, Sam Jackson. Although was Sam Jackson a star before?
No,
not really, was he?
No, not maybe not. He's great in it, but John Travolta certainly was.
Yeah.
But I quite like the way he is kind of cast against type here as well. And I know that he'd done the sort of the Boogie Nights and the Grease and all that sort of thing. Not Boogie Nights. No. What's the Saturday Night Fever? Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, Boogie Nights. Very different film.
Might make an appearance later.
But by this point he's putting a bit of timber, and I remember people sort of saying, "What's this fat bastard doing in this film?" Whatever. But he's so cool in it. He's just like strutting around, like effortlessly. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I enjoyed it a lot.
No, good stuff. Which then brings us on to... I was just checking my alphabet then. I was like, that's not right. But it is right. Q does become before S. We're okay.
It does.
Quiz show. So this was one. You mentioned this on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that long ago. I was just like, I've literally never heard of this film, Carl. What are you talking about? I didn't realise it had been nominated for a Best Picture.
Well, I mean, you would do if you'd listened to what I said, because I said that on the pod.
No. I mean, like, I'd never heard of it before you mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Obviously, I listened to every word you say.
Yeah.
Hang on them, indeed.
Yeah.
But this is, directed by Robert Redford, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. I'll go with that.
Let's hope that's right.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I think, I noticed for quite a few of these, as we're going through these years, you see those actors giving directing a go or turning to directing either as like a one-off or a thing. There's a fair few throughout the categories where they keep popping up. And
was this his debut, Redford?
I don't know actually.
He's directed a few films.
Yeah, no, he has, and he definitely has since as well, right? But yeah, I didn't know it was Redford before I looked it up.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought well acted, well structured. I liked it, but it didn't wow me.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Thoroughly enjoyable watch.
I'm gonna shout out Ray Fiennes because I'm gonna trash him later. So I'm just trying to balance it up. Let the record show. I think he's very good in this. Ray Fiennes.
So I had a bit of a Fiennes double bill because I watched this and English Patient quite close together.
Which there we go. Yeah, you mentioned.
We'll discuss that later.
Yeah. No, I think he's very good in this.
I liked him in this, and I thought he was better in this than the English Patient as well. Which he wasn't nominated for this either. Which is
no, he wasn't nominated for English Patient either.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was, but he didn't win, did he? No, he didn't. He didn't win. They swept up a few awards, but he did not win the Best Actor one for that. Because I remarked on that at the time when I watched The English Patient and said, that is not an accident. But yeah, he didn't, not nominated, he said. Yeah, fair enough. I'm with you. It's good. Is it best 5 films of the year good?
Indeed, yeah.
I don't think so. I can't remember which podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about Oscar-nominated films, and they basically said, if a film, obviously there are certain topics which are like catnip to the Academy. You know,
biopics.
You sort of your Holocausts, your biopics, your war, the white saviour thing, all that sort of thing.
Costume dramas, yes. And another one is anything about the sort of industry itself. Right, yeah.
They love as well. And I sort of look at that and go, maybe that's why this is in here.
Self-referential kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's a load of people being like, oh yes, what an interesting look at what we do sort of thing.
I mean, I think it suffers a little bit because I think it is a little too long for what it is.
Yeah.
And the stakes are so low.
Yeah.
But actually, there's very little tension that can be built up with it because it's like...
Is it illegal? No.
TV quiz show. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they go to like this hearing and stuff in Congress or whatever. It's just like,
Yeah.
All right. Never mind. Rob Morrow. He was like the sort of lead kind of guy that was doing...
Oh, the detective.
Lawyer / whatever he was, yeah. Never really seen him before. I thought he was quite good in this. He's largely a TV actor, but I think I quite liked him. He's been in quite a few TV shows. Numbers. Haven't ever watched it, but seems to do it. But seems an odd choice considering the rest of the cast. But and then I've not written down his name, which is really annoying. But the guy who plays like the weird initial champion quiz.
John Turturro.
Thank you. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, he's really good.
Really good.
Herb,
yes.
Yeah.
Did you spot? Well, obviously you would have spotted, but did you see Martin Scorsese there as a bit of a cameo? I was like, he looks familiar. Yeah. I thought, I think that's Martin Scorsese, you know. Yeah. I looked up and it obviously is.
Yeah.
And did you spot Ethan Hawke?
I don't know if I did spot Ethan Hawke.
So I was quite impressed with myself because he's barely on camera. It's like a profile. He's talking to Ralph Fiennes' dad at the end of a lecture, and he's just talking about something. It's like 3 lines or whatever, and you barely see his face, but I recognised his voice, and then had to look it up afterwards to try and find it, and he's like buried in the casting space there. It's just a cameo. But interesting enough film, but I think it's a little bit of outlier with the rest of them.
I agree, yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
It's a very good film, Shawshank Redemption. I think it's currently top of the IMDb rating. I think it tops quite a few lists. Not nominated for a Golden Globe or a BAFTA.
Weird.
But I rewatched it, and I mean, I've always liked Shawshank Redemption. I rewatched it kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's find out where it's overrated, because it's not best film in the world good. And it isn't best film in the world good, but I can see why so many people have given it full marks, because it's like it is really good, but it's also like what would you dislike about it? Like what would upset you? What would anger you?
It's quite straight down the line, isn't it?
It's very safe, but it's really well done. The soundtrack's good. The plot's good.
It's got a Morgan Freeman voiceover.
You've got some really good acting in there. Yeah, Morgan Freeman voiceover, perfect. And we know you like voiceovers.
There's an exception to every rule, and Morgan Freeman doing any voiceover is that exception.
It's all good stuff. So, like, I don't know how many people would say, yes, that's my favourite film, but I completely understand why it sits atop these lists, because it's just one of those where you go, I could give that 5 stars.
I think it tops a lot of people's list of favourite films for people who are not like huge film geeks and massively into like watching millions of films or whatever, but they have seen that and gone like, well, yeah, that literally ticks every box, as you've said. It's like, oh yeah, sure. It's I mean, I wouldn't go as far to say it's the boring man's best film, but potentially that's what it is.
Yeah. We're sort of straining to go in these. What do you think of these people? Are they idiots? Are they,
no, I didn't.
No,
say that.
You're not going that far. No. Sort of just uninformed, maybe ignorant. Are they ignorant? They're ignorant, aren't they? That's what you think. You think they're ignorant, don't you?
No, I'm not. I'm
not
not saying they're narrow-minded.
I think if you look at the dictionary definition of ignorant, I think you do think they're ignorant. You're just worried that it's a charged term.
These are your words.
Yeah.
I'll cut up this clip and I'll put it on on the socials. It'll all be you. But yeah, I've not really got anything further to add with Shawshank. I'll just be parroting you, and that's boring. So,
yeah.
So that was the 5. Were there any that you think missed out? Were there changes that you think should be made?
I think this is quite a strong year. I mean, of what they've nominated, I think there are 3 strong films here, with Forrest Gump, Shawshank, and Pulp Fiction.
Agreed.
I think for me, of those 3, I would maybe say Shawshank is better than Forrest Gump. But then I can sort of see, because of that massive slices of pop culture and history that it touches on, I can see why that did sort of win. But yeah, things that missed out. So I think one of the best films to have missed out is Leon.
Yes, so I was going to mention this because you've seen this a lot more recently than I have, very recently. Yeah. I have not seen it that recently. So I was going to kind of hand over to you for this one.
For me, I liked Leon. It was definitely better than I remembered. I liked Leon for two really big reasons. The first is, what's her name?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. Fantastic performance. I think we recently did child performances. I might have put her number 3. Mm-hmm. It could be better than that. She's really, really great in it. And she proper carries that film through. People talk about, like, obviously, Jean Reno's good in that film. And Gary Oldman, people talk about him being a bit of a scene stealer.
Yeah.
And actually, I was surprised on rewatch how little he is in the movie. Now, I'm not going to say that it doesn't leave an impact on it, because it's a great performance from him. But for me, the heart and soul and the best actor in that movie is Portman. She's fantastic.
Was she nominated for that?
I don't know. I didn't look up nominations for actress. The other thing that's really good about that film, it does work as a Hollywood blockbuster in terms of an action film. And I think I'd said recently when we spoke about it, it really sticks the landing. It is a really good ending to a film. It's got a nice plot and some good action scenes all the way through, but it's got a really good ending. So it just works. So yeah, I think it's great. And yeah, a bit weird that it missed out. But it is a strong year.
It didn't get any Oscar noms at all.
No, you wonder if that's something to do with it just wasn't on the radar because of the releases. And all
yeah, it's a surprising omission not to get anything, though.
Yeah. The other one that jumps out to me as having missed out is The Lion King.
Yeah, like massively.
Because you would think that was right in the Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Wheelhouse.
It was nominated as well for Best Song twice and other technical things. So it was obviously, up there with. It was on the what's the word I was going to say? On the agenda. That's not right.
Yeah, well,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we get that.
And also, I was like, oh well, it's an animation. Maybe they hadn't really made that leap from an animation being proper film and stuff. But this comes after Beauty and the Beast, which was nominated, and the first one to be nominated.
And The Lion
for
King's better than Beauty and the Beast. I mean, I like The Lion King. I like Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, agree. Well, I agree. Yeah, and 3 animations have been nominated for Best Picture previously.
Yeah, so there's precedence.
So there's precedent Beauty and the Beast, but so it's not. That's not a reason for it.
Yeah, weird one.
So yeah, I don't know. That was the biggest omission because it was A, big. B, very good, and C, nominated for other stuff. So it's like it's not that we're unaware of it.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Now I've got one other one. Mm-hmm. So there's other films out that year that I kind of wrote down. So like Speed and True Lies. These are not Best Picture nominees, but just I think big films that are kind of.
The question you've got to ask yourself is: are they better than Quiz Show?
Yeah, indeed. And the other one of those is The Mask. Which?
So I've got The Mask and Ace Ventura down because what I would say about both of those, again, it sort of seems weird. You go in, are they best 5 films? Both of those are funnier than 4 Wednesdays in a Funeral.
But exactly, that was my exact point that I was going to make. That it would never be nominated. I don't think The Mask just because of its style and what it is.
Yeah, its face doesn't fit.
Yeah, but fuck it, I would use that as the comedy slot. From 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh God, we're agreeing a lot here, Carl. This is very worrying. So, you got any more you want to call out? Should we get to our nominees and
let's get to the nominees.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So my 5 that I think should have formed the nominees for this year: Forrest Gump. Happy to still see that in there. Pulp Fiction, Shawshank. Yep, they're all worthy contenders. Leon, for me, has to be in there. And then I would fill that 5th slot with The Lion King.
So we're quite well aligned. So I've gone Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank. I've put in The Mask. And I've gone, fuck it. That's taking 4 Weddings and a Funeral spot. And then instead of Quiz Show, I'm going for The Lion King.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Carl, what's your winner?
Well, so I think it's really close between Pulp Fiction and Leon.
Yeah.
I recently watched Leon and rated that 5 stars, and I think I gave Pulp Fiction 4.5. So I think I'm going to have to go with Leon.
So I was between 2 as well. And I say I really did like Forrest Gump, really enjoyed it, but I think Pulp Fiction is a better film.
Yeah.
And also, when I put in The Lion King there, that is a 5-star film. Mm-hmm. It is fantastic. it gets me every time. Lion King is my winner of Best Picture for that year.
I could go now.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah. It's Mufasa's death, isn't it?
It is.
Every fucking time.
It's got everything, Lion King. It genuinely gets you through literally all of the emotions. I think it's probably, I don't know if we've done our favourite Disney films or not, and I don't know if I said The Lion King, but it bloody is. If I didn't say that otherwise.
Yeah, it's really good, really good.
So we've gone for two different winners that weren't Forrest Gump. I went for The Lion King. You went for?
Shared 4 noms. I went for Leon.
Leon. Okay, let's move on to 1996. But before we get stuck into the movies, it's time to unveil another ale. And this is Beer 2. And we are moving up the ABV to a Southern Tier Brewing Company IPA, 7%, brewed in Lakewood, New York. Now, the tenuous link to the podcast is the fact that it is Southern, a la Forrest Gump. And we are obviously talking about the top tier of movies of this period. So Southern Tier. There you go, see? I didn't retrospectively try to fit these.
I think it works. Say it with your chest. It's very nice still, by the way. I think I would just have Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA just out in front. But this is...
got a bit more bitterness, this one.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 68th Academy Awards, Carl. So films largely from 1995. What we had was... He's back again. Tom Hanks with Apollo 13... Babe, the pig, Il Postino, Sense and Sensibility, and Braveheart. And the winner was Braveheart. So again, we'll go alphabetically with this, and we'll start again with Apollo 13. So it's Mr. Hanks again. And this was one I did rewatch recently with the boy. So continuing his little Tom Hanks run as well after watching here as well. I really like Apollo 13.
Didn't you give this 5 stars?
I really like it. I was generally going like, I don't think I can give it 5. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. It hits me in all the right places. It's incredibly rewatchable. It sucks me into the drama, even though I know what is going to happen, which I think is such a rare thing that you can watch something that you already know exactly what's going to happen. I'm still gripping on intention. It's I thought Hanks is great, although I don't think this is absolute best.
Right. I've got to jump in on that bit, even though you already know what's going to happen. Yeah. I hadn't seen this before.
No,
I thought I had.
Oh.
And it might be I'd maybe seen like the first half an hour or something like that. But as it went on, I was like, I've never watched this all the way through. And you say, weird when you know what's going to happen that it still works. I got my history confused.
Which Apollo did you think?
This up with like the Columbus disaster.
Oh, right, okay. You thought they were all going to die.
Columbia disaster, sorry. I thought they were going to die. So when they got back, I was like, this time you've gone too far, Hollywood.
You were angry.
I was like, what's happened? And then I sort of realised my error.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
Carl, anyway. Why are you so angry? They didn't kill them, but they didn't die.
Yeah.
What?
So please do continue.
Okay, good stuff. So I was saying, Hanks, I think, is great. He's usually pretty good. I don't think this is his absolute best, but he's still pretty good. Ed Harris, though, is fantastic in this. If my wife could make me a waistcoat.
Oh, I thought you were doing Bernard Manning then.
And I could, well, my wife.
Yeah. My wife.
Make me a waistcoat and give me the power to be as authoritative and awesome as Ed Harris, then I would be right there. I thought all the supporting cast within NASA as well were really good. Because there's a lot of little characters that come up and thoroughly convincing as a bunch of sciencey geeks, and also the people that are trying to cover their own arse as well. But I thought the standout support was Lovell's wife, played by Kathleen Quinlan, and I was really glad when I saw that she'd actually been nominated for Best Supporting Actress in this. Yeah. She provides that like earthbound emotional link. It was just really thoroughly believable, I think, as that wife character that's kind of like torn at the beginning between when is this all going to be over? Oh my God, I'm terrified that he's doing it, and also he's a bit of a selfish arsehole for keeping on doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it from start to finish. I gave it 5 stars. I think I liked it even more this time around than I previously liked it. And part of that might have been watching it with a child who has not seen it before as well. So it might have been fun watching it with you as well, not seeing it before, when you're getting angry at the end.
Yes. I was honestly surprised it didn't win, because it is Oscar bait to the core. I mean,
It's even got Ron Howard.
Yeah, you talk about that sort of American nationalism side of things as well.
It's true, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was top tier. I couldn't really say like there was anything particularly I didn't like about it. I was just sort of like, yeah, it's fine. I kind of felt like First Man. Have you seen First Man?
No, I've not seen First Man.
Okay, so
that's
there's no spoilers.
Based on the Apollo 11, around the Apollo 11 thing, right?
Yeah. There's no spoilers in what I'm about to say, but
he doesn't die.
First Man does a really good job of getting the vastness of space across, and that kind of how much on the sort of frontier they were. And in this, even though the whole film is about like problem fixing and like everything's going wrong, somehow this film for me didn't quite deliver the this is a miracle that we are sort of doing. This is an amazing thing. Like, how doesn't this go wrong every single time? I think the sort of First Man delivers that a bit better, I thought.
Well, it's 2 Apollo missions earlier.
Yeah.
But it's funny because in the film they do even reference the fact that people have almost got bored and taken it for granted, right, by this point as well. And I'm not saying that's
I'm not saying they did a bad job on that either. It's just like as a sort of comparison piece, I really like that about First Man. I didn't quite find it here. For me, this one is much more centred around the performances. Very, very dialogue heavy. We're back and forth all the time, whether that be, with the families in the control room, in the cockpit.
And they don't have the big sort of expansive space shots and, like an Interstellar or whatever, where you've got, it's very much more focused on space and the travel through space, whereas this is very much the experience of these 3 characters within the spacecraft and all of the people supporting back home.
So very, very, thoroughly decent. I'd watch it again. Enjoyed it. It's not absolute top tier for me. I did enjoy Kevin Bacon in it.
Yeah,
I think I said this in my review. He's exactly the sort of guy you would look at and be suspicious of before finding out that sort of arrogance is a key part of what makes him so fucking good at the job in the first place. Yeah. I thought he was very good in it. Decent. Like I said, surprised it didn't win, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. As you say, it definitely ticks all the boxes, you'd think. So, yeah, it's surprised. Okay, we move on to Babe.
Yes.
The sheep pig.
I had a note on Babe as I was prepping. A sort of preemptive thing before I'd rewatched Babe. Like, what's this doing in here? Come on. But then I rewatched it. And for what it is very, very good at it. I think I watched this in the cinema.
Yeah, same.
Which means it's nearly 30 years ago since I've seen it. I've not seen it since then, so that's the one and only time I've watched it. And yet, I remembered the beats of the plot really clearly, which, shows what a good job it's done. It's really well put together. It's well structured. We watched it as a family. The kids loved it. It's good stuff.
It is. I have had a lot of fondness for this. I didn't rewatch it as part of this. I think I had seen it more recently again than when I first watched it. I think I had watched it with Theo like a number of years ago. Kids would love it. I mean, it's what's not to love? Animals talking, being funny, but it packs a bit of drama in there as well.
It's good. It's good.
Animal acting is great as well.
Yeah.
And the way that they've synced the lips.
A lot of animatronics in this as well. Some of the stunts with the animals are great. Like the 3 dogs jumping through the fence, one at each time. I don't know how they put that together. If it was separate takes spliced together, I don't know. But it really good. Yeah, like you say, some of the animal acting, fantastic.
And does have one of the most used quotes in my everyday life.
Bar I'm you.
That'll do, pig.
Yeah, that'll do. Pig,
That'll
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Still, I use it a lot.
The only thing that changed on my memory of it in 30 years is I remembered Hoggett, James Cromwell,
the farmer,
being a lot grumpier and sort of scarier and slower to turn than he is. And in fact, he's on board pretty
comes
early
around
in the
quite
film.
quick, and he's got a battle against
it's
others,
his
really,
little
isn't
pet
it?
project, and it's the wife that thinks he's daft, and ultimately, the industry. But that was the only thing. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't quite remember that right. But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and James Cromwell is actually great in this. It's the role I'm most associating with, closely followed by LA Confidential.
I'm exactly the same. Yeah,
and he was nominated for this, for Best Supporting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is great.
Yeah,
It's just exactly as you said at the start. You see Babe here, you're like, having a laugh. Come on.
Yeah.
Stupid kids film, isn't it? But it's great. It's
really works.
It's just very weird. It got 7 nominations, including 1 win for visual effects.
That makes sense.
It's not massively loved by audience. It's a 3.4, 6.9 on.
You just
on IMDb.
wonder.
It's like,
I mean, I only rated it 3.5, but you just wonder if that's sort of one of those things where you go, there's a bit of a ceiling for certain types of films. And I'm going to contradict myself a little bit when we go into what missed out. But you couldn't say, like you just talked about Pulp Fiction being sort of seminal. That was maybe that hasn't got this, so it does get bucketed in with. Well, it's just a family film, and that gives you that sort of ceiling. But as I said, for what it is, it really works. So
and also
fair play.
Written and produced by George Miller, who directed Mad Max.
Oh yes, I saw this. Yeah, well, he's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got quite a varied filmography.
Yeah, very varied. So fair play. Okay, we move on to Il Postino, or The Postman, en anglais. Yes, I know I did that in French. It was intentional. So
I wasn't going to say a thing.
So
You're on it.
I rewatched it. I didn't rewatch. I watched this for the first time today. I managed to squeeze it in, and I am very glad that I did manage to squeeze this in. It was some last-minute preparation, and it was a delightful movie. Absolute delightful. I had literally never heard of this before going through this.
Well, I've been
prep.
for years seeing it on lists and getting it mixed up with the Kevin Costner
Yes,
thing.
well, indeed. Yeah.
Which got panned, apparently. I think that's an awful film by all accounts.
Yeah. But yeah, never been previously on my radar. I had an absolutely stupid grin on my face throughout this. I was just enjoying myself an incredibly amount. And now, for those who aren't familiar with it, who may be some people, it is primarily a love story between the titular, is that right? Titular?
Yeah.
Postman, and his newfound inspiration, a Chilean poet.
Communist.
Yeah, communist poet. And it's about their little burgeoning love story. And then he also finds like a nice girl as well.
Beatrice Russo.
Beatrice. She is possibly one of the most beautiful people ever committed to film.
She's got great. I'll just tweet it out.
Now, switching gears. Now, I wasn't aware until afterwards the fact that the main character, actor, and writer, Massimo Turrisi, died 12 hours after completing filming.
Yeah. Just to talk about the film a bit, just to backtrack a little bit. I mean, I loved it. Like you said, it's a joy, but it's got some real heft in there as well. He is excellent in it, really, really good. And the film absolutely hits me at the end. And like you, I sort of then, you look up stuff afterwards and I read about it. That is obviously the reason why this film's been nominated, which is a real shame. And I read a review on Letterboxd. I mean, there are a lot of reviews in Italian. This is an Italian film. I mean, it's directed by an Englishman, but it is very much an Italian film. I don't speak Italian, but thankfully one nice Italian lady had written a review in English. And she was sort of saying he might be English, but he has absolutely nailed Italian cinema. He's got it right. And she sort of said, I should be glad that this film is nominated for an Oscar. But honestly, this isn't the best film that Italian cinema has to offer. And that's the thing. It's like, no. So why has it been nominated? Because he died whilst filming or just after.
It's pretty exciting. If that isn't the best thing that Italian cinema's got to offer, then I would like her to recommend me some other ones then, please.
That's the thing, isn't it, right, with the Oscars? That's where you sort of get into it's really prestigious and all the rest of it. It's mostly just them sat around wanking each other off, isn't it? Yeah. They're not really interested in rewarding the best film here. They're part of this sort of patting themselves on the back or whatever, and then every now and then they'll throw a bone to like these foreign films or whatever. And they've thrown a bone this way because and there's a good reason to. It's a great film, but why this one? Well, because he's died.
Yeah, and that's
which is a completely good the Oscars, not the film at all. Because the film, I love it.
Yeah, and you say about this mainly about them wanking each other off and then throwing bones at people. That's not even before you talk about the studios just massively
like when they get
campaigning and
they do that thing. Well, we're gonna pull you out of the running for this one. Because we want to throw the weight behind this one when they're part of the same studio.
Yeah, so you've got to take it all with a pinch of salt and
absolutely.
Yeah, but
So you're right. So there was the director I think had worked with him before, and he was basically saying like, we're not going to do this because you're too ill, and he was basically convinced into it by the actor and the writer, as you say. And they went, yeah, fine then. Let's do it. Obviously, we'll do the best we can, and we'll do it for you. And then, I think it was an hour afterwards.
I think it's 12 hours, but yeah,
12 hours. Yeah. Or maybe he was rushed to hospital an hour after.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
and dies,
So he'd like put off surgery in order to do the film.
Do it, yeah.
And then that was it.
I mean, presumably he was going to die anyway. He was very ill, and he's sort of gone. Let's get it done, and we can only be thankful that he did because it's a lovely film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yep, I mean I've been to Italy, but I'm not going to say I'm an expert in Italy or anything Italian culture. But it looks fantastic. The locations, all the cast, all the extras just seem very authentic to me. They could not be, but it sounds like maybe they are. And yeah, it was a delight, and it's available on Prime. And I would encourage everyone who is listening to go and watch it. It's only an hour and 48, and it will not be wasted. No. So if you've not heard of it, you've not seen it, go watch it.
Fantastic.
Okay, we move on to one that I have not finished watching yet. I did start, but I haven't finished it, and that is Sense and Sensibility. Now, so far, it's quite pleasant. Quite enjoying it so far. I'm only about half an hour into. So,
okay, interesting.
It seems okay.
Interesting. Bit of a mad pick for me, this one.
Costume drama, innit?
And that's the thing, isn't it? That's why they've done, because I sort of like, I mean, I'll admit this isn't my thing, right? But I'm like, if this is the best these sorts of films have to offer, I'm sort of scratching my head as one of the best 5 pictures? Really?
Granted, I'm only half an hour in, but it's very gentle.
It's also very long.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much about it because you haven't seen it, but I think the main message that comes out of the film is a bit disappointing. Maybe we will revisit that in future. And I also don't buy Alan Rickman as a sort of serious love interest. I love Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
He doesn't scream charismatic lover to me. I'm just waiting for him to go, I regret to inform you your lover is a bounder, Potter. I don't know, does he say that? I don't know. I've not seen Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I was a bit like, this can't be as good as these. It's not my thing. This can't be as good as these films get.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason I left this till one of the last ones that I might get to watching as well. Like, it was pretty low down on my priorities. So I was just like, and granted, I've been wrong about these. When you watch them, you've got an idea about what a film could be, and it turns out to be different. I've got a fairly strong idea of what this film is going to be like, and I've got a feeling it's not going to disappoint or surprise. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'll catch you up in the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, which leads us on to, obviously not in alphabetical order because I'm a fucking idiot, but it was the winner, so it was at the bottom. Braveheart begins with B, which obviously does come after S and I, and also... No, that's it. That was fine. Just after that. So Braveheart, that is... so this is regularly cited as one of the biggest missteps, I think.
Do you think that's because
when people talk
think
about it?
Braveheart's a bag of shit? Or they think, oh, Apollo 13 was right there?
No, I think it's the Braveheart's a bag of shit.
Do you think they think that because Mel Gibson is a big old nasty anti-Semitic? Or do you think that's because they think it's genuinely a bag of shit?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest.
He's definitely fallen foul of the industry in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is... I didn't rewatch it as part of this. I have pretty fond memories of watching this. Enjoyed it for what it was.
So I did rewatch this, and it's the first time I've seen it in a long time. Mm-hmm. I liked it quite a lot.
Oh.
Now, the main criticism, because as you know, I always look for other opinions before I form my own. And sometimes I agree the fuck out of them and I steal them because they're better than my own. And sometimes I like to know what I'm up against.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But no, seriously, because anyone who's ever read my reviews on Letterboxd will know I split things into good, bad, meh, just to give myself a bit of structure. And I always like looking for, if I like a film, I like looking for what people didn't like because I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I thought that too, actually. Or sometimes you'll go, wow, that's interesting, you're wrong. One of the main things with Braveheart was, it's historically inaccurate.
Mm.
Now, I find that a weird thing to get in a tiz about.
Yeah.
Because this is not a serious biopic.
No.
And the film opens up by saying, you won't find this in the history books.
Yeah.
The film opens up basically saying, yes, this is historically inaccurate.
And I think it's the fact that William Wallace is such a huge thing, right, in Scottish things, so maybe that's like you can fuck with some things and get away with it. Listen, if it's a bit obscurely known, but when it's not, I mean, you struggle.
I guess I would be. My granddad was Scottish. Large swathes of my family come from there as well. I watch this and just think, yeah, fuck the English. So I don't know what they're moaning about. I just think it's the only people it's painting in a bad light is us.
Yeah.
So I sort of don't get the objection to it on that front. For what it is, some of the fight scenes, the action scenes, really, really good. They've gone very, very Saving Private Ryan with it, gone for the brutality. Mm-hmm. But it really fits. And it's long, it's 3 hours, but I thought it moved along at a fairly brisk pace. Yeah, liked it.
I think on the brutality, I seem to remember like the final. I don't know if it's his final scene. Yeah, final scene. He's getting like tortured, hung, drawn, and quartered.
They pulled
basically.
The punches a bit on that.
Did they?
Yeah.
So I remember, like, I obviously watched it quite a long time ago, but I seem to remember that being quite like, ooh.
No, they pull the punches on that. You don't see a lot of that. The earlier stuff is a lot more gory.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to actually show it too much, but
they do pretty much show other stuff along those lines earlier on. There's a scene, a skirmish in their village early on. Fantastic. I mean, I'm going to talk about Saving Private Ryan later when we get to it. But that's up there as a sort of action set piece. That fight scene, it's really good. So yeah, I think that's a very good movie, Braveheart. I enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Okay, so that's the 5 nominees that we have talked about and the Academy's winner. What missed out, Carl? Any changes for you?
Yeah. One of my preemptive notes I wrote about Babe was, come on, don't be silly, Toy Story is way better. And Toy Story is seminal.
Yeah.
And it isn't just... It's one of those movies where it's not just a kids' film. That will stand on its own as a properly good movie. So I think it's a bit of a travesty that Toy Story didn't get a look in.
I've just realised I've completely omitted it from my list for some reason, and I don't know why. I feel like I've just overlooked that completely.
Yeah, no, it's great, Toy Story.
So the one that I think's been massively overlooked from things is Before Sunrise.
Yeah, I've got that down as well.
We've obviously talked about this a fair bit on the podcast previously. It's one of my favourite films of all time, and it's also a brilliant made film. Not a single Oscar nomination, which I think is a travesty.
My note for Before Sunrise is it knocks the shit out of Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would nominate in all of the all the categories in terms of direction, writing, acting, and overall film as well.
So Braveheart obviously won the Oscar, was nominated for a Golden Globe, wasn't nominated for a BAFTA. Apollo 13, nominated for Oscar and Golden Globe, no BAFTA. Sense and Sensibility, nominated for all three, and won the Golden Globe and the BAFTA.
Wow, really?
Yeah, crazy. And as you say, Before Sunrise doesn't get a look in. And I know it doesn't work like this. They don't have a slot for kids' film. They don't have a slot for comedy. They don't have a slot for love story. But I look at Sense and Sensibility and I go, Christ almighty, surely people who are watching that and enjoying the love story of that would watch Before Sunrise and going, oh no, this is what a good film looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think Before Sunrise probably just wasn't well known at the time.
Maybe
upon release. I think it was a very indie, a very small film.
Yeah.
So it might just have gone completely under the radar.
Yeah.
One that didn't go under the radar, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, and nominated for a BAFTA, The Usual Suspects.
Yep, nominated for Best Supporting Actor and Original Screenplay winner, but no love for Best Picture, which a little bit surprising.
Strange for me. There's actually, I mean, that's one of them. There's some amazing action offerings this year. I think this is a really strong year. You've got GoldenEye, and I don't know if there ever has been a Bond film nominated for Best Picture.
No.
And I think that's a bit of snobbiness towards the franchise, to be honest, because why not? You know, they stand on their own as the good ones, stand on their own as great pictures, and GoldenEye is absolutely one of the good ones.
Yeah.
You're talking about an action film, superb. Die Hard?
Yeah.
Die Hard comes out this year. I mean, Christ almighty.
It's pretty much a perfect...
It really is. Crimson Tide, not as good as Die Hard, but Crimson Tide is a great action film. Then you've also got grittier action films as well that come out this year. And thrillers. You've got Heat.
Yeah, that was another one I thought, just you look who's in it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Die Hard is 1988. What are you talking about? You're doing Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I am sorry, I'm doing Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay, cool. It's just like...
It's all right, it's not... Okay, it's not in the same league as Die... But Die Hard with a Vengeance, I really like. It's actually a bit lower on the critic scale, but for me, it's really good.
Yeah, I think Die Hard with a Vengeance, I can kind of... It's a trilogy, you know, it's a third film in a series.
It is, but they've reinvented it at this point. They've taken it away from just the, terrorists in the very closed off location. They're going across it.
Sorry, but you said Heat.
Heat is there.
Not a single nomination for Heat.
It's mad.
But that is really weird. Not even a technical category, which I just find bizarre. And it had Pacino, it had De Niro.
Yeah.
It's got the star power and, you know, actors. They can act in it as well. Yeah. It's really surprising that that's not been nominated.
You've got Seven.
Yes, Seven as well. That was the other one that was on mine. Nominated for Best Editing. Now, Seven isn't actually one of my favourite films of all time, but is one I do want to rewatch. But I just thought it would have been nominated for more, just based on, again, who's in it and who made it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The other one as well, I know we differ slightly on this, but Casino. I think Casino is a fantastic film. It's a big old film. It's a big piece. Scorsese, De Niro, Pesci, all the rest of it, right? You're laughing because it's a big piece.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. It's fair enough.
It was the hand gesture you made by your crotch at the same time. That was what wasn't it.
No, it is. It's a strong year. But any others for you before we do?
No, they were the four.
Okay, so my five would be, and I do like Babe. It's really good, but I would swap it out for Toy Story because I think Toy Story is just a level above. Before Sunrise, you mentioned. I'm putting Before Sunrise in.
Yep.
I think, as I said, it knocks the shit out of Sense and Sensibility. Usual Suspects. It's a 5-star film for me. Love The Usual Suspects. Il Postino, that boy's going nowhere.
Yep.
And after that, I think I would keep Braveheart in. I really enjoyed it.
Does that mean you're dropping Apollo 13?
I'm dropping Apollo 13. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sticking with Apollo 13. I'm sticking with Babe, but only because I completely overlooked Toy Story. I think I probably would have swapped Toy Story for Babe on reflection. Before Sunrise, Il Postino, which before watching today, I had Heat instead of that. But Heat's now not in it, and then The Usual Suspects. So Apollo 13, Babe, Before Sunrise, Il Postino, and The Usual Suspects. Who's your winner?
The Usual Suspects is just getting pipped just by Toy Story.
Ooh, so I went for Before Sunrise.
Yeah,
Is my winner.
fair.
It would never win.
No.
Even if nominated, it would
Do you know
never
what?
win.
As well, I would have loved of what was nominated. I would have loved to have seen Il Postino win.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it would ever win. I think it is your classic. Oh, that's nice to put
Yeah,
in.
there you
Aren't
go.
we interesting?
Look,
Yeah,
a
we
foreign,
like Italian cinema.
language film.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, look at us. Aren't we progressive?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, moving on to 1997, which is 69th Academy Awards. But we have to unveil the third and final of my ales. And the final beer today is Very MAGA IPA. And as we're talking about all things America has got wrong today, and MAGA seems very appropriate.
They're eating the dogs.
It's actually mega, but it doesn't work as well. So this sells itself as a super deluxe mega awesome beer. 9.2% Imperial IPA from
Sounds
Yards.
like something he'd say.
Yards Brewing Company. Yeah, it's the best beer. It's the most best beer. So this is from Yards Brewing Company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is obviously another movie by Tom Hanks, of which we are discussing a few others today. Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, and Saving Private Ryan, to name 3.
It's juicy.
You like it?
Yeah.
9.2%, maybe.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, yes. That'll do. Don't make them like that here.
No, they don't.
Sorry, Britain. You suck. Right. Let's get to my notes. These are films largely from 1996. I should have reorganised the notes so that my beers were spread out rather than all at the top, but hey-ho. So, Best Picture nominees from 1997. Fargo, Jerry Maguire, Secrets and Lies, Shine, and The English Patient. And the winner was The English Patient. Okay, so we're going to start things off possibly alphabetically, we'll see. Now, when a film starts with the, are we going for that's a T? Yeah, sure, why not?
Do it, won't they?
So we're starting off with Fargo. So I rewatched this. I wasn't planning on, but I listened to another podcast and they talked a lot about Fargo because they actually covered this year in much more depth and much more expertise than what we did. But they talked a lot about Fargo. I was like, oh, sod it, I'm going to watch it. It's 98 minutes long. Sod it, I can fit this in. It is bloody good. Accessible, yet still the Coen brothers off-kilterness, which I know you love, the Coen brothers off-kilterness.
Well, here's the thing. I used to like the Coen brothers a lot.
Then you grew the fuck up, didn't you, Carl?
I'm sort of trying not to say that.
Yeah, you said it on a previous episode.
I'm trying not to say that again. And it does make me a little bit sad. Because I rewatched this and I really wanted to like it. And I'm so meh on it.
Oh, really?
And it's like, oh, I wish I still loved it.
Oh.
Because I did used to like this one.
Yeah.
You know? But it's been a bit of a pattern. I've been rewatching some Coen Brothers films and being going, oh, I used to like that one. I don't like it anymore.
So I like this one particularly because the stupidity is there, but it's not overtly spelled out stupidity. The audience is kind of just left to marvel at incompetence of it without it being really over the top stupid, I guess. I mean, from a filmmaking perspective, there are some magnificent shots in this again.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
The snow obviously lends itself to it, I think, quite nicely, particularly when you're involving lots of blood and things. That the old blood on snow is a classic. Some great imagery, like the leg sticking out the wood chipper as he's just pushing it in. It's very good. And from an acting perspective, I think Frances McDormand is brilliant in this. She doesn't even appear until about, I think, 45, 50 minutes in. But when she does appear, I think it becomes her movie. And yeah, I thought she was really good. What else do you make of Fargo?
Yeah, like you said, the technical stuff is good. Wouldn't argue with that. I sort of just end up not caring. because Frances McDormand is supposed to be like the heart of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't think there's a lot of heart in the movie.
Well, yeah. So let me throw it back to you then first. What would you say the movie's about? Like, what's the sort of story of it? Or is it more like a Pulp Fiction thing, where you're just supposed to be moving through and going, "Oh, that's cool, that's funny, that's brutal, that's."
Yeah, I mean, there's not. I mean, it's not a plot laden thing or really.
Because a lot of the reviews talk about, like, the positive reviews on people talk about like. Oh, it's about this and it's about that. And
I'm like, about like deeper things than what it's showing.
Yeah, I think so. And then they talk about like Frances McDormand's not last line, but her sort of closing scene about there's more to life than money and all this stuff, and a few people had homed in on that. And I find that a bit weird because it's like Jerry, William H. Macy, he'd been portrayed as this. I mean, I think the tagline says this as well, the blurb, about how he's like debt ridden and he's like, at the end of his tether, and he's so desperate he's going to fake a kidnapping for his own wife, right? Yeah. And all this, and it sort of just dismisses all of her sort of flipping. Well, there's more life than money. Dismisses all of that. So I don't sort of see a great heart to it, and maybe that's not what it's going for. And that's the thing. I'm sort of like going, what is this film doing?
I don't think it's an incredibly deep film for me, anyway. So, but, I've been known to miss.
Which makes sense, and I tell you what, not how I'll have watched it and enjoyed it.
No,
10 years ago, 50. Oh no, fucking, I'm old.
No,
20 years ago.
Yeah.
I will have gone. Oh, it's really funny. It's really cool. And this time round, I'm just a bit like, I didn't laugh. I'm just a bit. Yeah, just leaves me feeling a bit cold. Which genuinely, I'm a little bit sad about.
Yeah, it's quite sad. Where did Buscemi get you on this?
He's good, right? But that is peak Buscemi, isn't it? That's what he does, and I enjoy the sort of callback to it more in The Big Lebowski, when every shut the fuck up, Donnie. Like, they won't let him talk in that movie.
I did quite enjoy he's kind of strange looking. Oh yeah, strange looking how? He's just kind of strange. I thought all of the dialogue, and I think it is the accent as well, like that Minnesota accent. It's almost funny on its own.
Well, and this is my other problem with it.
They do lean into it.
This is my other problem with it, and it's less a problem with the movie, but when I was reading my positive reviews, trying to find what I was missing, they are overwhelmingly just one-liners going, "Oh yeah," and it's like, yeah, that's nice that you found that funny, but can you tell me what I missed, please? Because that can't be it. That can't be it, surely. And don't get me wrong, there's a nice little titter, like, oh yeah, they speak funny, but you can't carry the whole movie on that, surely. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I know you irrationally hate William H. Macy.
Yes,
I think this is probably his best performance, though. I think
he's a good actor. I never said he wasn't a good actor.
Yeah, but I think he's great in this. I also like the fact that the ending doesn't resolve the fate of the money. The money that he buries randomly on a massive fence line with a scraper stuck in the ground. And they obviously don't go on into that and resolve it and go to that, which I think is and nothing actually. That was just complete noise that just came out of my mouth by then. There was just noises.
You've only had a beer now.
Which I notice when I listen back sometimes. I just go.
He gets excited.
Say words. But nothing is particularly tied in a neat bow. But no. I don't know. It still felt kind of satisfying at the end.
Have you seen Fargo, the TV series?
No, but it's meant to be very good.
It's good, and I don't know whether it's because obviously TV series always have a bit more time, and you can sort of develop, especially characters, a bit more. I enjoyed that a lot. And the first series in particular does really take inspiration, naturally, as you'd expect, from the movie. And I'm sort of in a weird spot now where it's like, I enjoyed that more than watching the actual Coen Brothers films, which is... But yeah, like I say, I'm a bit sad about it, but we are where we are. Meh.
There we go. Okay, moving on through the alphabet, we have Jerry Maguire. Again, this is one I managed to get a rewatching.
Oh, the big TC.
Well, of course, this was probably number one when you were ranking them as your list of watching.
Listen, I'll say this. I don't know if this is one of the best 5 films of the year. I think this is getting sort of carried a bit. No, that's not fair, because he's not the only good thing about this movie. Renee Zellweger is very good in it as well. Cuba Gooding Jr. is fantastic. He's electric. He's bouncing around all over the place. But I think it's a really good Tom Cruise performance, and it's one of those where they've gone, "This is your time, Tom. We're happy. You know, you've made a film that doesn't upset us in any of these ways or whatever. We're happy to give you a nom for this." And he's great in it, and it's very enjoyable. Is it one of the best 5 films of the year? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, again, as I say, I didn't rewatch it as part of this, but I do remember enjoying it, but not being blown away. I think similar to what you've just said there. Like Cruise is clearly good in it. Cuba Gooding Jr. won the best supporting for it.
Right. Yeah, he's very good.
Cruise got nommed for his performance. It also got original screenplay and editing. All I know that is it's pretty quote-tastic. You know, it's got the show me the money. It's got me the help me help you.
You complete me.
You had me at hello.
You had me at hello.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about this before. If you can do that, if you can. I don't know what makes good dialogue, right? I'm an idiot, but I do know that those 4 things are definitely in the
and it's
conversation,
100% comes down a lot down to it is the Cruise delivery as part of those ones as well. I mean, he doesn't say that you had me at hello. That was
two of them.
Zellweger,
Yeah, 2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah, you complete. Oh no, you're right.
No, he
yeah,
says
you're
that.
right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. One of them is Zellweger.
Yeah, and the show me the money is very much.
Yeah,
it's a double act, right?
It is.
Like, he's being essentially wound up and wound up and wound up with it. The help me to help you, help me help you.
Oh, it's all good stuff. That
yeah.
Like, there's a reason things like that stick around that are memorable.
Exactly.
Just, like,
it's hell of it must be a hell of an achievement. How good must it? Maybe annoying, but how good must it also feel as well when you get like things quoted back to you that you wrote 30 years ago?
Yeah, fantastic.
Crazy. It's been a long time since Cruise was nominated for an Oscar. I want to see him. I think now's the time.
He doesn't sit well with the Academy, though. He's a Scientologist, isn't it?
Yeah. Now's the time. He hasn't really done a film that would even maybe get there. He's stayed quite a lot recently in his Mission Impossible, action-y, that style Tom Cruise. I think it's maybe time just to step back and maybe just...
Yeah, he's only churning out really good action films.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's all he's doing. Yeah. Consistently great. Fucking, yeah. But if they can, I don't know, find a really serious acty film where he can still jump off a cliff or something, maybe that's what we're looking for. But I think there's still time for him. He's clearly still got it. All right. Secrets and Lies, Carl. Again, I have not seen this, did not watch it. So this is entirely over to you.
British film. We're getting thrown a bone. Let me see. Did this win the BAFTA? Secrets and Lies? It did not. It was nominated for all 3, but it did not win anything. Oh, in fact, The English Patient was nominated and won all 3. This is our first hat-trick movie. English Patient, yeah. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Yes. Secrets and Lies. So, Brenda Blethyn, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Timothy Spall. The black girl, I can't remember the name of. I should have written it down because she's really good in it. And anyone else worth calling out? Probably can't remember. I think it's a very good movie. I enjoyed it. It's exhausting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a very...
intense.
Yeah, because it's about a girl who's put up for adoption, and then she basically goes to find her birth parents, and they're a mess, and they've got all their own problems going on. A birth mum, sorry. And she gets, dropped into this situation where there's just all sorts going wrong around her. And they're all sort of trying to air their dirty laundry and heal and all the rest of it. It's very good. Very not American. I think I put in my review again, it has the sort of crying in that's very real, not a sort of Hollywood crying, but the sort of crying where you just look like a fucking mess.
Yes, not attractive crying.
No, it's not attractive crying.
No.
I'm sort of on this, I'm with like, it's good, but is it best 5 films of the year good? I feel like this might be a reflection of...
This is a Mike Leigh film, right?
The weaker year, maybe?
Yeah. And I think Mike Leigh is almost like a genre unto himself, right? He's done Happy Go Lucky, which I think was Oscar friendly.
Right.
Vera Drake, which I'm pretty sure was pretty Oscar friendly as well. So I think the Academy like him,
Right.
and the films that he does. Interestingly, no, not interestingly, there are 2 black actresses in this, Carl. So which one is the one you wanted to call out? Marianne Jean-Baptiste, who plays Hortense Cumberbatch.
Hortense, yeah.
So yeah, Marianne Jean-Baptiste. So she was good. Elizabeth Barrington's in this. Now, is that who I think it is? What's she been in? She's in Bruges as Natalie.
Yeah.
I thought I recognised her.
You go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got nothing to add to this.
Yeah, I mean...
Is it worth me watching?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good film.
Is it part of my heroin phase, or do I need... Is it whenever you want?
It's a bit heroin-y.
Yeah.
It's a bit heroin-y, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Definitely worth watching. It's just that thing of, like, best 5 films of the year worth watching. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving on to one that I have watched, Shine.
Yeah, you like this more than me. I've seen your rating.
I've actually thought about it and downgraded it a little bit.
Yeah. It's a mess.
Yeah. So it's it's a bit of a weird one. I've got to say, it's fine in terms of like it's a little bit by the numbers in terms of it's that familiar format of
You
life
see why
story
the Oscars like it.
biopic. Yeah, exactly. You've got the child going into the young adult, going into the adult, and seeing the journey. It's an odd one to say that it's Best Picture.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Here's the thing. We've sort of dabbled with these areas before. I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about here.
Oh no, heaven forbid.
So, disavow all of this. The problem with this film is probably not on the story and actors side of it. It's very much on the technical side, right? Because structurally, I think this film's weird. We've got these 3 segments of his life. Mm-hmm. So they're going for the biopic, and it's got things like he's mentally disabled. You've got some abuse as a child.
Yep.
Obviously, he's a gifted child as well. It's all ticking the Oscar stuff, right? And it's all very well acted, I would say. The problem is you've got a structure that's weird, the way it sort of flits around. I thought it was very boxed off. So the 3 sections, as he moves through his life, our child, it doesn't flow. And it's almost like this is a completely separate guy in this segment. There's no remnants or traces of what happened in the previous segment. Now, Geoffrey Rush won, did he?
He did.
He won the Oscar for Best Actor for this. He did. And I thought it was quite a limited performance. And again, I say it's not him. I think what he's been tasked with, he's done very well.
I think it's a very challenging thing that he did in it as well, in terms of how that character was speaking and how acting.
It almost
and
doesn't
things
fit in the film.
No, it doesn't, and it's also not for very much of the film. No. Really, like it doesn't appear till halfway. In the start, but then
you're sort of asking yourself, well, how is this guy, that guy, and that guy before him?
Yeah,
and it's like, so he was good. I thought it was narrow because he's only been asked to do one thing when he should have been given maybe more of a range. And like you say, it's challenging, and he is good. I thought it was a bit of a mess. It was fine, though. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. This seems to me, though, you see those, and you see it particularly, I think, over these 5 years at least. I've not done research the whole thing for the Best Actress nominee, where you see Best Actresses being nominated for films, and the films are nowhere else. Yeah. They are not in the Best Picture. They are not in the Best Director conversation. It's just, this was a good performance by an actress.
Yeah.
This seems like one of those where it's like, okay, you can nominate Geoffrey Rush if that's what you liked. You don't need to put the film in here. It's fine. It's nothing special. I watched it. It was.
So have you gone down to 3 then?
Down to 3. Yeah, it's a pretty middle of the road thing. I think the acting's good in it.
I agree.
I think I actually preferred the Noah Taylor performance, which is the younger kid.
I agree.
Who does it? I think he actually did really good.
I mean, you joked about this sort of off the air that we are not disagreeing enough here.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to just start with the personal attack soon, I think, because I don't have much else here.
I know this is very off-brand. It's bad. I mean, I can just lie. I thought this was the best film of the year.
Yeah, well, you're a cunt. which has got nothing to do with that opinion.
No. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. Well acted, but yeah, it's and it's Australian. So that's always nice.
For the colonies.
All right, let's move on to the winner of this year, which was The English Patient.
Yeah.
So I had really low expectations going into this.
Was that my fault?
A little bit your fault. Like you definitely didn't talk it up before I watched it.
I'm straight down the line. I'm middle of the road. Yeah, ambivalent.
But I think this is another one of those I think's looked upon as not travesty, but it's like I think they've. I think the old Oscar bait thing is thrown around with this one, and I don't think it's necessarily fair with it. But I really liked it.
Really?
No, only because having read around, this is not one of those Oscar baity things where it's like this film has been made and it's got a big studio behind it and it's doing this and it's building towards it. It hits all of don't get me wrong, it hits all of the check boxes that Mr. Oscar likes.
Because my top line is, I'm not surprised at all The English Patient one.
Ooh.
If Apollo 13 was Oscar bait, then Jesus Christ.
But I got completely caught up in this, and I wasn't expecting to. And once it got through, like the scene setting, the background bit, the introduction, the two love plots get into sort of full swing, I was completely away with it. I thought, and this is the first time I think I've said this in these 3 years, the acting by the two female leads in this was the highlight for me. I thought Ralph Fiennes overrated.
She's better than
Kristen Scott Thomas I thought was fantastic, and actually, we're not going to talk too much about Forward Interview, but so Kristen Scott Thomas was great, and Binoche was fantastic as well.
Good, yeah.
They were both great. I fell in love with Juliette Binoche and Kristen Scott Thomas in this a little bit, and watching this so close to 4 Weddings gave me a real appreciation for Kristen Scott Thomas, actually. Yeah. And I think
she doesn't have much to do with 4 Weddings.
No, but she's one of the best bits in it. And I think I might have to seek out some more of her stuff. I've seen enough of her stuff actually from English Patient, I suppose. But Fiennes was good. But I actually prefer Quiz Show him for this.
He's good in Quiz Show. I like him in Quiz Show. I don't think he's good in this. I think some of it is fine. Some of it's really pretty ropey. I thought Kristen Scott Thomas was okay. I did really like Binoche. Who was the Indian guy? I liked him.
I mean, I literally told you his name the other day.
You did, yeah. I liked him, and actually,
because he's in Lost, and I was like, he's not aged a day.
I like their romance more.
Yeah, I like the dual romances that you get going on.
I thought that was nicer. My problem with English Patient, and again, I don't think it's bad. I just think it is very meh. It doesn't sort of go deep enough on anything. I wasn't swept up in the romance of Kristen Scott Thomas and Ralph Fiennes. I did get the other one a bit more. It sort of promises to be this wartime, exotic foreign lands epic. Doesn't really go into the wartime much.
No.
You hardly see any locals.
No.
So, when you're talking about like, are they in a foreign land? They're all just always talking in these little.
They're in the groups. The
groups, yeah.
I mean, it's an international group.
Yeah,
it's not a.
But
just
you
British
don't
or whatever,
get this like they couldn't be anywhere because the cinematography is really good and you know where they are. But it's almost like they could be anywhere. It's where they are is inconsequential, I guess. And it just doesn't do enough on any one front for me. So I just come out of it going, it's really, really long, and I'm just a bit like, eh.
I mean, Naveen Andrews is the name of the actor, which I blanked on.
He was good. He
was very good. Yeah, and it's nice to see. What's his name?
When he took his turban off.
No, nice long hair.
No, seriously, it's a good scene when he takes his turban off and. A nice long hair, really long hair.
No, I was talking about the guy from Alvita Same Pet.
What?
And Waitley.
Kevin Waitley.
Kevin Waitley.
Yeah.
Nice to see him just pop up randomly.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
you're in a film.
Yeah.
Do you do this?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now, see, I had no problems with the length of the film, not his hair or his hair. I think it needed to be that long to sort of let it develop because it's quite slow developing. Like it takes a little bit of time for him to get.
And I think that's why we slightly differ. I'm still waiting for it to develop.
Oh, okay,
That's the thing.
Yeah, fair enough. So this is one where I was like, oh, I've been putting this off for ages because this was on friend of the pod, Will. He challenged the watch every Best Picture winner in your lifetime bit, and the English Patient was one I was like, fuck that. Can't be bothered to do this. Yeah. Oh no. I was like, I'm going to rewatch this.
Yeah.
At some point, not like immediately, but I would with pleasure.
I can't say I won't rewatch it because I didn't dislike it, but it's not high on the list.
The one thing, and you won't get this because you're not into the Harry Potter thing.
No.
The Ralph Fiennes burn victim, very Voldemort.
Yeah. I've seen his face. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit. Initially, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Pierce Brosnan's choke acting, is that what you're saying? Same bag of tricks. He's just,
So yeah. I rated this 4, and just like with Shine, where I kind of reassessed after a little bit of reflection, I might even go to 4.5.
Yeah, fair enough.
This one. Okay, anyway.
You like what you like?
Yeah. Any changes, Carl? And what's been missed out here?
Yeah, so I do think it is on the weaker side of...
There's some interesting stuff here, though, that's not really nominated. So, Train Spotting.
Yes. Okay, I don't love it.
I think it's one of those, it's quite an important film, this one. It's pretty seminal, Train Spotting, particularly maybe in the UK more than internationally.
Yeah.
But it was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
But it feels like the kind of movie that the Academy will just be like, no, God, no, fuck, no. Oh.
What? There's a couple of really good popcorn movies this year. Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Independence Day is a fantastic popcorn
The biggest
movie.
of big blockbusters, Independence Day.
I do. I really think it's fantastic. Twister, I'm not a massive fan of, but again, it was big at the time. The first Mission Impossible comes out this year. Mm-hmm. The first Mission Impossible, really, really good.
Yeah.
The Rock, great.
I want to rewatch The Rock again.
For what that is, it is a really good film.
I remember really enjoying it, but
Eraser.
You can see why it's not nominated. But
yeah, it's just its face doesn't fit.
You say Eraser?
Yeah, I like Eraser. I think it's good. Jingle All the Way, of course. No, that's not getting nominated.
Yeah, no chance there, is there?
The Cable Guy was a sort of interesting comedy.
Yeah, never seen it. No.
Oh, really?
It's on Jim Carrey's continuous Jim Carrey's run, isn't it? Really?
It's worth a watch. The Cable Guy. Yeah. I have quite a soft spot for Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo plus Juliet.
Yes, Romeo plus Juliet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring this up, interesting, and how much of that is linked to watching at school?
Yes,
because
that's where it came from for me. Yeah,
it was It was released, or the year before. We were basically doing like that in year 9 or whatever it was at secondary school, right? How
can we get a bunch of teenagers to be interested?
Give them guns. Set it in where was it, on like Venice Beach or something?
Yeah, Venice Beach. Yeah.
But yeah, I have fond memories of that. I don't want to rewatch it.
Yeah, in case it's shit.
I imagine the delivery of all the lines is probably fucking awful. But yeah.
I do my thumb thrust. They got guns pointed at each other's head.
Yeah. But yeah, I have quite fond memories of it.
With a petrol station about to be set on fire, I think.
Yeah. You bite your thumb at me.
Yeah. I do my thumb, but not at you.
The other one that you've not mentioned is Scream.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
See, we've said a lot of times on this, our lack of love for horror. But I actually kind of forgot all about Scream, which I absolutely adored as a...
Did you?
Yeah, loved it. Had the poster on the wall, had it on VHS, watched it a lot. It stuck with me, and actually, like, I say it stuck with me, I fucking forgot about it. But having thought about it again, I was like, I remember a lot of that movie, and I want to rewatch it. And actually, it's meant to be a bit of a game changer for the genre with that.
Well, it gave rise to parodies.
It had scary movies, right?
So you've got to have done something right to be parodied, right? Because you've got to have entered the zeitgeist.
It itself is a commentary on horror movies as well. So it's having a parody of that is very meta. Yeah. I didn't rewatch as part of this, but I'm going to seek it out, and as well as Scream 4, which actually, again, fairly recent and actually quite good things about it. So I'm going to rewatch that as part of my trying to get back into some horror. But yeah, I think that's something I kind of forgotten about, that how much I liked Scream. And I thought Nev Campbell, I remember being excellent in that. It's obviously got Neve Campbell? Neve Campbell. Nev. Yeah, Neville.
Yeah, you're still on Kevin Waitley. Yeah, he's still...
Courtney Cox and...
David
Arquette, yeah. And obviously with the appearance of Drew Barrymore at the start as well. I think it's a great film, actually. So yeah. Any more?
Well, the only other one I would call out that's been a very good movie from this year is Sleepers.
Oh, I've never seen Sleepers.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Yeah, worth a watch. Would I put it in best 5? No, probably not.
No, that's it. And again, there's like another one, That Thing You Do, Tom Hanks' directorial debut.
Oh, I've not seen it.
And I've
seen the Jimmy Savile spoof poster. How's about that thing you do?
So this is not getting anywhere near the top 5.
Said Jimmy.
This is not getting anywhere near the top 5 movies.
We've really taken a turn over, haven't we? Sorry. Right, go on.
Another podcast was doing this year, as I said, and they played the song from That Thing You Do, and I've been literally singing it every day since.
I can't do it. Every time somebody says that thing you do, all I can think, how's about that thing you do then? Oh.
Maybe you shouldn't watch the movie.
Yeah.
But that was the only one worth calling out, but it doesn't get on the list. Okay, Carl. Do you want to go with your 5 nominees and the winner?
So of the original 5, I'll keep Fargo in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really want to like it. I can recognise all the technical side of it anyway.
Yeah.
I do think it's a weak year. Similarly, Secrets and Lies, very good film. In another year, it's not getting in, but it does. English Patient, again, it's middling for me. But technically, there's loads of easy stuff to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the acting's really good. It's in there. I'm going to slide in 2 really good popcorn movies in The Rock and Independence Day.
Yeah. So I've done something similar. So I've kept in Fargo. I've kept in Jerry Maguire. I've kept in The English Patient.
Mm-hmm.
But I've put in Independence Day. And I've put in Scream.
Yeah, fair enough. And
again, you're right, though. This is pretty weak in terms of like the big old... Big,
somebody should have had a look at what Italian movies. Cinema was doing this year.
Yes.
That's what they should have done.
Did anyone die? But yeah, for me, the winner-wise, it was between English Patient and Fargo. But I give it to The English Patient by a hair, I think. For me.
Deary me. My winner...
Where are you going to go with this one?
No, I not difficult.
Yeah?
No, because my winner is one of the best popcorn movies ever. Sit down, watch it, enjoy it every time.
The Rock.
Independence Day.
Oh, Independence Day.
No, The Rock's in that conversation. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but Independence Day.
Yeah. Oh, imagine if Independence Day won on a Best Picture Oscar.
Didn't even get nominated.
No, I mean...
So a difference between us there. You kept Jerry Maguire. Basically, I'm keeping Secrets and Lies over Jerry Maguire.
But I haven't seen Secrets.
You haven't seen it, but it's that sort of thing where I'm going, well, there's a story there. Tom Cruise is great, the acting's great, and I'm sort of looking at that going, there's a story in Secrets and Lies and the acting's better.
Yeah,
and that's all that's happened.
If I see Secrets and Lies, then that might take the place of Independence Day potentially, or Scream, or Scream. Trainspotting was in there for me as well. I couldn't decide between Independence Day and Trainspotting.
Yeah,
but I went for Independence Day because I was like,
it's big, man.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
All right, that's the year done. All right, let's move on to 1998, the 70th Academy Awards. So films largely from 1997. So the Best Picture nominees for this year were As Good as It Gets, The Full Monty, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, and Titanic. That's how you pronounce that, right? Titanic.
That's how I've always said it.
Yeah, cool. So the winner was Titanic. That said it all. I'll be honest, this isn't a great year, is it?
We peaked early on, I think.
Yeah. Like there's good films. Don't get me wrong. And then when we get to the other movies of note, there's some fun films for sure. But So anyway, bad news for this year. Although I have seen each of the 5 at some point, I didn't rewatch any of them. So this is going to be based solely on my memory, sometimes from long ago. So detail I will not be able to provide really too much of it. So going to be relying on you, Carl. That's not the bad news. That's obviously good news. But there we go.
Yeah, okay.
So we start with As Good As It Gets.
Not nominated for Golden Globe or BAFTAs. They've got better taste.
In the actors?
Jack Nicholson.
Were they nominated for the acting awards?
I don't know.
This seems like, again, one of those, like, yeah, okay, you can throw him a nom for the old the acting, but is it one of the best 5 films of the year? Come on.
Well, it's not one of the best 5 films of the year.
It didn't leave much of an impression on me.
Because it's a shit film.
Oh, shit. We're like, you think bad.
It's a shit film.
What are we rating this, Carl?
Let me tell you what I rated it. I didn't actually write that down. My takeaway from this film was how tonally weird it is, right?
So
I don't know how much
remind me of the premise, right? So this is...
Racist old neighbour.
Yep.
Befriends waitress.
Yep. In the same apartment block, right?
No, it's just where because he's got ADHD. And that's where he goes to have his meal every lunchtime. Because he's like a rich author. That's where he goes to have his meal every lunchtime. She's his waitress, and he ends up seducing her, and sort of, he's not just a racist old man, and they fall in love. There's side plots where he's got a gay neighbour who ends up getting beaten up, nearly killed, and brought into sort of the little friendship group. And the waitress, Helen Hunt, who is excellent in the film, has a not disabled son. I think he's just got some mystery ailment that she can't afford to get diagnosed or something like that. So the reason I say it's like tonally weird is because it has like his racism is supposed to be a punchline. It doesn't do anything to earn that. So he just throws out the little barbs, and we're supposed to go, haha, that's funny. He's been bold enough to just call them queers or this, that, or the other. He's bigotry, you know. Or Cuba Gooding Jr. has a bit part in it as well as the gay neighbour's friend, and it's like, It's like,
is it Greg Kinnear? Is he the
Greg Kinnear? Yeah. So he's like playing it very, very light-hearted. I doubt it's Nicholson's fault. It'll be a director's thing. I give this film 1.5, by the way.
Oof.
He's playing it very, very light-hearted because his character is very, very shallow. He's racist until he shows his...
That's been a while.
He's racist until he shows his kind heart, right? Helen Hunt is serious. She's a single mum, and she's got a kid who she loves more than anything, and she's really good in it. And that's very serious. Greg Kinnear, the gay neighbour that gets beat up, like... he nearly dies, and he has facial scars, and the pain for the treatment bankrupts him, and he nearly loses everything. And it's like that's all really dark. But yet we've got this like weird thing where we set it against. Yeah, but isn't it funny that Jack Nicholson's a bit racist? Isn't that funny? And the soundtrack and the look of it are very like that, very classic rom-com, light-hearted. But yeah, there's all this like heavy stuff going on. So yeah, I find it a sort of weird film in which Helen Hunt and Greg Kinnear are acting their asses off. So yeah, it's best 5 films of the year? No, absolutely not.
So Jack Nicholson won Best Actor for this.
I mean, he is at least the 3rd best actor in this film. I'd possibly even put him 4th below Cuba Gooding Jr. and maybe we'll even give the dog a nod as well for a bit of animal acting.
Interestingly, Dustin Hoffman for Wag the Dog was nominated, so maybe...
It's a fallow year. It's a fallow year. No, but you know what? I didn't know that. He's not doing anything.
He's Jack Nicholson, though, isn't he?
Of course, right? And we know that he's fun and menacing and kind of, at this stage, a bit of a parody of himself, but that's kind of what you get him in to do, right? Can you come be Jack Nicholson in a movie sort of thing? But he's not doing anything anywhere close to what the other guys are doing. Terrible call.
I can't offer anything in riposte here. I don't really remember much about it. Pretty unremarkable. I kind of remember. I can see it fairly fun, but I mean, now you've kind of gone into some more depth and maybe not
what it's going for is fairly fun.
Yeah,
no doubt. And I can see it being a sort of a bit of guilty pleasure on that front for some people if they identified with that bit of it, not suffering through the rest because the rest of it is arguably good. It's just out of step with the fairly fun bit. So I can see it, but no, it's weird. Best 5, no.
Okay. My alphabet is again.
You're really struggling with this, aren't you?
Like I've gone for the full Monty. So where I've gone the is a T. Now I've gone for
inconsistent. Yeah,
that is an F. So full Monty, we'll call it.
Not nominated for a Golden Globe, but did win the BAFTA.
I mean, it's bound to win a BAFTA. Come on, it's got BAFTA written all over it. It is British, very British. I find it a bit of a strange Best Picture nominee at an Oscars, though.
Yeah, go on.
This may be just because, again, as I said, I haven't rewatched it as part of this. So my memory of this is that it's not an entirely serious film. However, I read a few little reviews as part of this, and maybe there's a lot more serious stuff going on there than maybe I remembered. Because the last time I watched this was probably when I was a teenager. So go on, give me your...
I remember Brastoff being more serious. So I don't think you're entirely wrong on that. I remember Brastoff being more serious. I mean, I think like Ken Loach films are sort of what you really go for if you want sort of heft in this this area, right? You sort of your working class struggles and examinations and punctuated with a bit of lightheartedness. Because it's in that ballpark, but it is definitely more on the... It's not unserious. It's just kind of a breezy... we're supposed to be having fun with the characters rather than having any sort of serious examination of anything. That's just the backdrop, you know?
Yeah.
But it's good. I would say it's good. I enjoyed it. Very, very rewatchable.
The biggest problem I have with this, why the fuck is Sean Bean not in it?
Yes.
Seriously?
He'd be perfect.
Surely.
Sheffield, for God's sake. Yeah.
Like... Was he not the first person they called? Yeah. Did he turn him down? Like, what's going on here?
Well, Robert Carlyle turns
Robert Carlyle is Sean Bean, surely.
We're going to need to do the full Monty here, lads. Bastard.
Be perfect.
Yeah.
But hey,
you'd like that, you bastard. Have you heard this bastard? He wants us to take his kecks off. Yeah, it's all there, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it should be remade.
Hugo Spears
they did a sequel, actually, didn't they?
That. He's from Harrogate.
What? Who?
Hugo Spear.
Oh, yeah. The guy with the big...
Yes,
cock.
with the lunchbox. The lunchbox has arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got a big cock, but he's from Harrogate.
Well, he plays a character who does, so that's good enough for me. What was I going to say? Oh, they made a sequel to this, right? Am I making that up?
I don't remember that.
I feel like on Disney Plus, they've made like some sort of full Monty sequel. Bear with.
Yeah. But no, it's not the deepest film in the world. It's not the greatest film in the world.
Series.
But it is very, very enjoyable, I thought.
No, I don't know. Fuck it. We're not going to talk about that. Mail in,
Yes.
Messages on the socials and all that crap if you've actually watched.
Fans of male strippers, let us know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the mums.
It's like the anti-Magic Mike, isn't it, I guess, the full Monty?
I mean, I've not seen Magic Mike. I bet it's a lot better than Magic Mike.
Yeah. It's a lot less full of muscles, I suppose. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to a film that I remember more. Good Will Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams. Pretty good, wasn't he?
I love Robin Williams.
Pretty fucking good, isn't he?
He is one of the most charismatic actors I think I've seen. Can you imagine him in real life? He would just hold court like no other.
And I keep forgetting how much of an acclaimed actor.
Yeah, he's good, man.
He is, right? Considering he was essentially, a stand-up, right? He just started in doing that.
Yeah.
How often and regularly he showed how good an actor he was. And it's so upsetting that it's a was.
I know. This film in particular as well, he brings such a genuine warmth to that character.
Yeah. So this made Matt Damon a star, so you must love it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Matt Damon has got his time and place, and obviously he and Ben Affleck wrote and did they direct this as well?
No, it's Gus Van Sant who directed.
So they've got the talent. I'm a little mixed on Damon in this because I think Damon's excellent when he is playing conceited.
Well, so where does this sit on your Damon believability scale?
Well, so as a competent upstart, it's right in his wheelhouse. And obviously a lot of the scenes with Williams where he's playing this, like, not spoiled, that's the wrong word, because he's not spoiled, but that sort of, like, conceited kid, this fucking arrogant, he's great. He's completely believable. The laugh is, and actually it falls more down on Ben Affleck, the laugh is that these guys have ever, like,
from the project.
Yeah, exactly, that they know what that's like, and it doesn't work, and you've got that horrible scene when Ben Affleck goes, do you know, the thing that we hope for every day is I wake up and you're not here anymore, and you've left it, and it's like, come on, you. That's all a bit Hollywood silliness. Like, come on, lads. So I'm a bit mixed on him, but yeah, the other side of it, and a lot of the scenes he shares with Williams in this film, very, very good. It's a great film. I really like it.
You watched it quite recently, right?
I watched it last year. Yeah.
How far through the film is it before Robin Williams appears?
It's not.
Is it quite early?
Reasonably. Okay. Yeah. Reasonably. Yeah.
I couldn't recall whether this was like there's quite a lot before then it comes through in it, and then he carries the rest of it.
No, it's reasonable. Okay. And then it takes a little while for Damon to let him in, because he's basically not allowed to hang around school unless he goes to see Robin Williams. Unless he goes to the therapist, and the sort of the cat and mouse is, can these two get it together? So,
yeah, okay, cool. I don't think there's much to say about Good Will Hunting.
It's a really good film.
It's good.
It absolutely deserves to be in the running.
Okay, so then we move on to L.A. Confidential, which does come after G. So we've talked about this.
Well done.
We've talked about this film quite a lot recently. And it's mainly me going, like, oh yeah, I really need to rewatch that. Guess what, Carl?
And you do.
Didn't rewatch it.
Yeah, you really do.
It was on the list. I was just like, but I need to watch films I actually haven't seen before. One more thing I will say is that this has a fantastic poster.
Yes, doesn't it?
Fantastic poster.
And right, this is how fucking good this film is. That poster doesn't even have Russell Crowe in it.
No, he's in the background, no?
Is he?
Isn't he? I thought he was there's Kim Basinger like front and center, and then there's like the three of them. So Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey, and Russell Crowe behind. No,
well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I might misremember. I don't know. But
you're right. He is right at the back.
Because that's essentially like the central four, right? And then you've got Cromwell in there as well. And,
there is a version of the poster without Guy Pearce and Russell Crowe in it, but you're right in that version.
Oh, just Spacey.
Yeah, it's based on Spacey.
Well, there you go. But this was one of those movies. I had that poster. That poster was on my wall.
It's such a cool poster.
Yeah, it's there was a few posters that I got at like the film fairs and stuff. That was one of them, and I have really good. I say I have good memories. I have good feelings about this film. I don't actually remember that much about it, you see.
Right, so here's why you should rewatch it. Because it's cool. It's really cool. It looks cool. It's got that proper 50s noir vibe, right? It's got a great cast.
James
Ellroy.
Yeah.
It's got a great cast, all the rest of it. But why you should rewatch it is because it's exactly as cool as you remember and a lot better. Because it's a properly good plot. You watch it and you go, oh, yeah. And it's one of those films I wish I could watch for the first time because there's a bit of twists and there's a bit of intrigue.
And I think it'll feel like I'm watching it for the first time because I can't remember the details.
You're going to love it. It's a great film.
Okay, cool. I'm going to get that watched. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, just rewatch it. It's cool, but it's really good.
And the reason I wanted to particularly rewatch it for this is because I feel like it could have been up for the win.
Yeah.
For this, so And obviously, I will struggle to do that. So, anyway, we'll move to Titanic. So I watched this a lot as a teenager.
Really?
Don't judge me. And not just because of Kate Winslet and that scene. And it feels like to me, this film was literally everywhere, right? So I remember getting the VHS for Christmas. I remember watching it many times. I also remember watching like making of like shows, maybe on like MTV or things like that, where they were going behind the scenes of how they did the Titanic and how they made it and how they had the big tanks with all like the water scenes and things like that. So I think this is maybe like the first time I gave a shit about how a film was actually made rather than just like watching a film. I also distinctly remember the radio playing that Celine Dion song a lot.
The Hot Dogs Go On.
Yes, and but playing with the movie clips within it as well, embedding movie clips in it. I've got you. I won't let go.
Yeah, that was the radio edit.
Yeah.
There was a radio edit. For that,
I remember that, and I remember lapping that shit up. And I know it makes me sound pathetic, but I don't care. I have a real soft spot for this movie. I've not rewatched it terribly recently, as in probably within the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But I think despite the fact it's been parodied, and we talked about as well, parody shows you're doing something right. It's been mocked quite a lot for the last 25 years in various circles. But I don't know. I think in terms of an achievement of movie making, film and Cameron doing his thing, it's his like Avatar, but 10 years, 8 years before or whatever, where it's like technically and how he's doing things.
The Titanic is a massive passion project for him. He's obsessed with ocean exploration. I think he still holds the record for being the person to have gone the deepest in the oceans in the world, because he did the Challenger Deep project.
Yeah, they have those special submarine things they go down to look at the...
Yeah, because he did quite a funny thing where he gets to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and then he gets a phone call from his wife. You just can't escape her, can you? Sort of. That's what he says on this documentary. So
you rewatched this recently.
I've rewatched it.
The message you sent to me was, Titanic's long.
Yes, 3 hours and 15 minutes.
It's not 3 hours and 15.
It is 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Fuck, really?
Yeah. And here's the thing I didn't remember about it. The whole movie's a flashback.
Yeah.
But not in the way that Saving Private Ryan's a flashback, i.e. when they jump forward at the end to show him at the grave.
It starts with...
It starts... And that section at the beginning is 25 minutes long.
No, it's not 25. Yeah. That's crazy. 25 minutes of an old lady going like, I remember when I got my
Because
tits
it's
out.
not, because the first bit is about Bill Paxton and Bill Paxton playing James Cameron, I think. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going on here. Is about the voyage, and he needs it for money, and he's a treasure salvage hunter.
Oh, unnecessary. Okay, cool.
The whole thing you could lose, and it would
you
make
could just literally go like
no difference.
And we're straight to the Titanic, and this is Rose.
Like it would make no difference to the film, right?
Yeah.
So, and then also the end section when they flash back, that is like 10 minutes long. It needs to be Saving Private Ryan style, a minute long. That's what, like old Rose dropping the necklace in the thing. And we've been spared because there's an alternate version where, which they shot, where Bill Paxton comes out and goes, "What? You've got the necklace?" Because they think that she's going to kill herself. Like, you've got the don't throw that, and they have to talk her down. And she's like, "Well, you can touch it. I'm still going to chuck it over," and all the rest of it. Yeah, I think she's talking about the necklace.
Oh, okay, fine.
Not a tits.
Sorry,
as you just mind to me there. Although, as you said earlier in the movie, lovely breasts. So you could lose the first 25 minutes. You could lose the 10 minutes at the end, and it would make no difference.
That is really there. That's a genuinely good.
So all of a sudden,
you could just go like, it's a movie about Titanic, and it's Titanic.
All of a sudden, you've gone from 3 hours 15 to 2 hours 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours, and it's like you've not changed the film a single bit, so that's a problem. The rest of it is split, not evenly, but it's split between romance, obviously between Jack and Rose, which I didn't care for. I'm not a big sucker for the soundtrack, so whatever. And then disaster movie. The disaster movie portion of it, very very good. and that goes for obviously the setup when they're setting it up with like showing you how big the ship is and great it is and all the rest of it. And then when it finally kicks into gear, the last 25 minutes, half an hour, maybe a bit longer than half an hour actually, when it finally kicks into gear and the thing starts sinking, that's all good stuff. The romance, whatever.
You can see why he did the romance part of it. Though,
yeah.
Right?
I get
to
it.
give stakes.
And if this was a 2 hours
even
40
higher
film,
stakes, right? Yeah.
if this was a 2 hours 40 film, I'd go, yeah, fine. It's really good. But it's a bit of a trial. But it does do some things very, very well, and they use a lot of practical effects. That's all good. Some of the CGI in it has aged quite badly, which is quite funny, and I don't hold that against it because that's just time.
Yeah. Same with Forrest Gump, right? When you look at some of the where
they don't overdo it,
where they put the faces on like the prisons.
You can see it. And you can. They don't overdo it. They do try stick to practical, so that's all good. But as a disaster movie, it's good. As a romance, it's not my thing. Overall, fuck me, it's way too long and self-indulgent.
No, I mean I think that's fair. I kind of forgot there was a whole beginning piece to it.
I did too. Because it's not important.
yeah. It's interesting though because I can't imagine watching a 3 hour 15 film as many times as I did.
Yes.
Maybe I just fast forwarded that shit.
Yeah.
Straight to the boobs.
Do you think? Yes, very good.
All right. So, what changes or what was missed out, Carl, for you? Now, I just to preempt, I started this by saying there's a few fun films in here. I struggled to come up with any, I don't know, Oscar-worthy, if you want to put it that way.
It's another
movies
week,
that missed out.
It's another week, yeah. So I think you've got Tomorrow Never Dies, which is a good action film, but then like it's not as good as GoldenEye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which didn't come into the conversation in that year, and that's a sign of like, how weak the years are.
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco is another film that I really, really like. You're talking like best 5 of the year. It seems weird. Liar Liar is a fun film, and it's definitely funnier than As Good As It Gets is. But it's like not close to Jim Carrey's best. Like The Mask and Ace Ventura were better than that.
It's after his little run, isn't it, of absolute classics.
Absolutely. So the one I have sort of come up with, and it suffers the same symptom as the ones I've just been talking about, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Now, that got panned. It's nowhere near as good as Jurassic Park.
No.
But you know what? It's still good. It's still got a big
it's a significant drop-off, though, isn't it, from Jurassic Park?
From Jurassic Park. Yeah. But is it actually worse than some of these films that have been nominated? I don't know that it is. I think it's still a good popcorn film. That's what I would say.
Yeah. So all 3 of mine are not traditional Oscar ones. So the first is Men in Black.
Right.
Left a big impression on me as a kid. Seemed to be sank in a little bit different. It's Will Smith right in his Will Smithy zone. The other one, we talked about The Rock. I think this sits alongside for me, Con Air.
Right.
Absolutely love that movie. Not a chance this will ever be nominated for an Oscar. But
no, I mean, I'd also say it's not as good as The Rock. But
no, it's a ridiculous film.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will watch this movie whenever possible.
Yeah.
And then the third one, we literally just referenced it just a second ago. Austin Powers.
Yes. Off air.
Big off air. Yeah. Big part of my teenhood. Teenhood, is that a word? Wait. Childhood.
It is if you want it to be.
Adulthood. Teenhood. Yeah. Sure.
Say kidulthood, don't they?
Yeah, that's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
But yeah, Austin Powers. It's never going to be nominated for anything from that realistically. I couldn't find the other ones that are kind of listed. Boogie Nights was the only one.
Ah, yes, there's Boogie Nights again.
But I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That was about the only other one, I think, that would really push for that.
I don't know if he's going to get nominated for an Oscar, is it?
No.
I really like the bit where he stroked his dick.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, it's tough. I mean, I have swapped out 2. I'll say that.
Go on, let's get to it then. So,
And one of these is controversial. So I'm going full Monty, Good Will Hunting, and LA Confidential. Right, I'm keeping those around. Yeah, I am dropping As Good as It Gets because I think it's a weird film. There's some good stuff about it. There's some weird stuff about it. I think Liar Liar is a more enjoyable film than that. I think it's funnier. The controversial one is I'm going to drop Titanic because there is a really great disaster movie in there, but 3 hours and 15 and with a romance I don't care about. I'd rather watch The Lost World, mate.
He's putting The Lost World in.
Honestly, I would rather watch The Lost World.
Yeah, I mean,
and I've seen The Lost World more than Titanic, and that is a trend that will continue, I'm telling you.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've kept As Good as It Gets, but I've put like a ... before it because it's like, well, no.
I'd be interested to know what you think to that if you rewatch it.
Like, only because it's been nominated for Best Actor, well, one Best Actor and Actress.
Actress, by the way, Helen Hunt, fantastic, completely understand that. Actor's a weird one.
So I'm very much basing it on like, well, fine, keep it in. If it's one for both of them, fine. I put Con Air in there, ridiculous film, but I don't care. It was a fun film. Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, and Titanic. Winner for me is Good Will Hunting. And I think yours is going to be LA Confidential.
It is, you're right, yeah. And fair enough, Good Will Hunting, but mine is LA Confidential.
And I wanted to watch LA Confidential because I feel like it could have easily comfortably won over Good Will Hunting.
It's really good.
It was definitely a 2-horse race, but I've seen Good Will Hunting more recently, so I'm going to go for it, even though I've got a big soft spot with Titanic, but I just can't go there.
Did you mention this earlier? Who else was up for Best Actor?
Alongside
Nicholson.
Let's have a look. So we've got
As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, so Dustin Hoffman in Wag the Dog.
Oh yeah,
no idea. Peter Fonda in I've written Uli's Gold, but it could be Ulysses Gold. Who knows? Could have mistyped it. Robert Duvall in The Apostle and Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting.
Well, Matt Damon's better than Jack Nicholson in this.
Indeed, I've not seen any of the other 3, so I couldn't comment. I've got a feeling The Apostle, Robert Duvall, he directed that as well, but I might be wrong.
That's a bad call. It's a bad call.
So yeah. Alrighty, we move on to 1999. We're going to party like it's 1999, even though the films are largely from 1998 for the 71st Academy Awards. But first, Carl, I've got another little game for you.
Lovely.
Now, we've had a return of this game a couple of times. Now, we had Play Your Fucks Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to do Play Your Noms Right.
Ooh.
This is nominations, not nom.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a name of an actor or director who's been nominated for an acting or directing Oscar multiple times, and you have to say whether the next person has a higher or lower winning percentage.
Right.
Okay. So I don't care about these people who are like producers and they get like best film things. This is just like acting awards, either supporting or lead and
winning
director.
Percentage.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So our starting card, the little starting thing as we go, it's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Your favourite.
He's all right, yeah.
So he's got 3 wins from 12 acting nominations over the years. He won As Good as It Gets, as we just talked about.
Yeah, Travesties.
Terms of Endearment and
Sure.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. So 25%. 3 out of 12. So 25%. Next up, turning over the card, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, I mean,
Signor Spielbergo.
Yeah, that's how they say that. The thing is, I don't know how many he's been nominated for, nor how many he's won. So this is a largely arbitrary game.
So 25%, higher or lower, Carl? Higher or lower?
I mean, the thing is, I think he's got 3 Oscars.
Ooh.
And I think he's going to be nominated for more than 12. So lower.
It is lower, but you're wrong. So it's lower, but he's won 2 from 9.
Okay.
So 22%. Fine. So just lower. He won for Schindler's
List. I was
List.
wrong on both.
Yeah, you were wrong on both, but you still got the right answer. So he won for Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. Also got some other award in 1987, but I don't know what was that for. Okay, next card. Meryl Streep. 22%. Higher or lower than 22% for Meryl Streep?
Yeah, so the problem with these is it could work both ways because what I was going to say was the paucity of female actors that are actually given the fucking top jobs means she's going to be nominated a lot more, but then it also means she's going to have won a lot more. So, again, who knows? What was Spielberg's
22%.
Yeah, let's go higher.
It's lower. 14%. She's been nominated a whopping 21 times, but only won 3.
Yeah.
So she won Kramer versus Kramer, Sophie's Choice, and The Iron Lady. I mean, she's very good in a lot of things. I'm not sure those are the 3 ones that I would have picked that she would have won for. Kramer versus Kramer is fairly good.
Yeah, and of course I've broken your format now because I'm out at this point.
You are out, but fuck it, we don't care about that.
Yeah.
So we got 14% for Meryl Streep. Now we're going to Nicolas Cage. Nick Cage. Higher or lower than 14%?
I suspect he's not been nominated a lot because he's shit. But he did win for Leaving Las Vegas, which is ridiculous. So we'll go higher.
It is highest, 50%. He's got 2 nominations. He won for Leaving Las Vegas, as you said. Okay, so which leads on to Martin Scorsese. Higher or lower than 50% win rate?
I mean, it's got to be lower than 50%. That's crazy.
It is lower. He's won once. He's been nominated 9 times. 11%. 11.11111. Winner for The Departed.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 11%, and now we go on to Frances McDormand. Higher or lower than 11%, Frances McDormand?
Let's say she's got at least 1. Has she been nominated more than 9 times? More than 10 times? Is she Meryl Streep levels? Maybe she's got 2. Yeah, no, higher.
It's higher, 50%. She's won 3 from 6 nominations.
Ebbing, Missouri, she got 1 for as well, didn't she?
She did. Fargo, she won for.
Yeah.
3 Billboards and Nomadland.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, Frances McDormand, a bit of a beast when it comes to the Oscars. 50% win rate and 3 Oscars. So, yeah, there we go. That was Play Your Noms Right. Nom, 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 nom.
Very good.
Okay, so now let's move on to 1999. So, Best Picture nominees for this year were Elizabeth, Life is Beautiful, Saving Private Ryan, The Thin Red Line, and Shakespeare in Love. The winner was Shakespeare in Love, and I just want to call out the distinct lack of variety from the Academy this year. 3 war films, 2 period costume dramas. For fuck's sake, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're being a parody of yourselves here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, variety is the spice of life. Let's try and mix things up a little bit and just, why the fuck are you nominating Shakespeare in Love?
Yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth. Start with this, Carl, alphabetically, probably. And I haven't seen it, so can't comment. You?
Nominated for all 3. The Golden Globes and the BAFTAs as well. Obviously didn't win any because Shakespeare in Love won the Oscar and the BAFTA with Saving Private Ryan winning the Golden Globe. Thought I was going to hate Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And?
Period thing, not my thing. Yeah, didn't mind it. It was much more thriller than drama.
No, it would have been funny. There we go. I thought I was going to hate Elizabeth. Did. Shit. But yeah. Much more thriller than drama. Okay, yeah. So this is... Elizabeth is Kate Blanchett.
Kate
right?
Blanchett, yeah. Jeffrey Rush is in there. He's very good. Daniel Craig's in there.
Oh,
and he's very
Daniel
good.
Craig, early appearance.
Do you know who else is in there?
No.
Eric Cantona.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
He's not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's not bad. Vincent Cassel. It's got a really
I'm
good...
guessing he's playing a Frenchman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, so, you know, not incredible. Don't let the period thing put you off. Like I say, more thriller than drama. Okay. And Blanchett is very good. I think Jeffrey Rush is very good in this too. So yeah, fine, whatever.
What do you got? Yeah, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, Kate Blanchett did get a nom for Best Actress.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No one else. Maybe supporting, but I didn't write it.
Not Eric,
so.
No?
I don't think so. No. I'm sure he came up with a lovely poem, though. Life is Beautiful. I can talk about this.
Only nominated for an Oscar.
La Vita è Bella. Italian, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we love our Italian films on this episode.
apparently.
What do you make of this? Because I'd be interested.
It's not without its issues.
Oh, really? Okay. Hang on.
Have you seen the backlash around Life is Beautiful?
No.
There's a lot of people really not happy about how it's historically inaccurate and it minimises the Holocaust.
Right.
And I do understand that. Not because it's historically inaccurate, because it's not claiming to be... I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're going to stray into this territory, you've got to be careful. I get that. What I would say about it is tonally weird.
I mean, you know how I love a mixture of gravity and levity.
Yeah, but it's so very much first half and second half, right?
Yeah. Very much the levity to start with, and then it goes a bit tits up in the...
And honestly, I didn't enjoy the first half because he's playing this clown, and it's all very, very light-hearted, and you know what's coming because you've read the byline of the film and you know it's about the Holocaust and he's going to get captured and this, that, and the other. And that sort of hangs out, it looms over that first half because it's like, well, when's that going to happen? And I struggled with it. Ultimately, I also realised that it's a necessary setup for the second half of the film for him to show that this is how he deals with stuff and we've built the relationships and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
The second half of the film, fantastic. Really good.
I really like this film. I found it excellent. And just as you said there, the first half is entirely the setup for the second. Because if you didn't have the first half and he tried to do the things he was doing in the second half, it'd be very odd.
You would.
It'd be very odd.
Yeah.
But it's clearly defined that that's how he's getting him and his son through life.
He's like playing a clown, isn't he? And humour, and that clown is his way of getting. It's his way of building the relationships in the first half of the movie, and it's the way of getting them through this prison camp. Shielding his son and getting through this prison camp in the second half.
Yeah, and obviously I can't comment on the historical accuracy. I don't know enough about it to comment on that. But I found it really powerful. I watched this as part of getting through the IMDb top 100. And again, it's one of those, like, I don't think I would have picked it to watch. It's not one of the Holocaust movies, generally not ones you tend to land on when you're looking for a Friday night film. But I remember watching this and kind of being really, really taken away with it. I didn't watch it that long ago, and I was very impressed with it. And I think it's a kind of beautiful film for me. But
yeah.
Got much more to that one?
No, I mean, like I said, I sort of realise where its detractors are coming from. But overall, I would say that I did really like it as well. Yeah,
so Roberto Benigni was nominated and won for Best Actor.
Yeah, he wrote it. No, he directed it as well, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Director as well? But yeah, I think it's very much warranted in its place in the top 5 for that year.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on to Saving Private Ryan. I was just going, is A before H? Yes. Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, so we've more Oscar bait here.
So this is, big Hollywood style war film, right?
Right.
It's got it's Spielberg. It's Hanks. It's Damon.
Do you like Band of Brothers?
Carl,
you've not watched it.
I've not watched it. It's a huge gap.
Okay.
I'll add it to my Sopranos and Mad Men.
You like this though, don't you? Saving Private Ryan.
Well, yes, but this is one of those where I have not. I first watched this basically when it first came out. Not at the cinema, but when it first came out on like VHS and stuff, and watched it.
Yeah.
And so fairly young. It didn't have the hit or didn't stay with me as much as what I'd maybe expecting or that maybe it's had for others. I've rewatched it since. Maybe still didn't quite get me quite as much.
Right.
This is one of those where I think another rewatch is needed now that I am old and mature, he says with inverted commas. That I think I'm going to really appreciate this film when I rewatch it again. But I don't know.
Okay, right. Well, just to round off the Band of Brothers thing, Band of Brothers is better than this.
Okay.
Because
Is that because it's got more time to do more with it?
It also does less of the bad stuff.
Okay.
Band of Brothers has got the best bits of Saving Private Ryan. They're shot very at the same time. Spielberg's involved. Hanks is driving that. It's got the budget. It's got the best bits of Saving Private Ryan, and we don't have the Hollywood thread running through the middle of it in the same way, because what we have instead is like real people, and it's shot at the time when they were still alive as well. Really, really powerful actually. By the end of it, my issue with Saving Private Ryan is it is a great war film. It's also a fairly meh story in terms of that central premise of, hey, this will be a good news story, let's save this one private, and almost reduce the entire conflict down to this thread running through the middle. Yeah. And that's a shame, because the opening scenes, the beach scenes, like, they're up there with anything you've ever seen.
And they're iconic. Set pieces. They're iconic in cinema. You know, they'll get rolled out.
The battle scenes throughout are fantastic. The closing battle scene again is, for me, actually my favourite, more than the beach scene. And yeah, it does make you sort of feel a little bit, but its central premise I've never quite got on with.
There's no Dunkirk, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like, joking aside, why Dunkirk is so good and effective as a war film is because it completely depersonalises it in terms of the characters in the conflict.
Goes the opposite way here.
And it manages to get across that scale of the sort of the suffering and the impact so well. Whereas this has gone the other way and it's zoomed in on and it does make it a bit smaller, which is a shame because the set pieces in this film, incredible. I mean, overall, I'll still say I do really like it, and I think it's a really good film. Yeah. But yeah, it does have an issue or two.
Okay, well, I will try and rewatch that as well. And how long's Band of Brothers?
Band of Brothers is 10 episodes, so
Hour-ish.
they're about an hour. Yeah, so it'll vary slightly. So.
Yeah,
but it's really worth your time. And if you like Band of Brothers, The Pacific is good, not as good as Band of Brothers, and now Masters of the Air, all from the same studio.
Yeah.
Again, not as good as probably as good as The Pacific. They do, but they're all really good. But yeah, Band of Brothers, peak.
Okay, so from one assault on the senses to another, Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah, so you mentioned like Braveheart is seen as one of those missteps.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is the most egregious.
So I don't want to steal too much from our final data section, what I want to say here. But we talked about studios getting involved.
Ah, okay.
And I feel like this is maybe the prime example.
Right.
I don't understand why it's even here.
And it won.
It won.
It wasn't nominated for a Golden Globe. Was nominated and won the BAFTA as well, which is perhaps less of a mystery because it's British, heavily cast, if not entirely production. I had really fond memories of this, and I realised why, because it was another one of those we watched in English class.
Oh, did you? See,
and they're always the best lessons when the teacher wheels out the TV.
The TV comes out, you're like, yes!
There'll be no learning today!
See, I watched this. Do you remember it was almost like video on demand that they did on like cable or Sky or whatever, where you'd pay X amount of quid or whatever, and you'd be able to get it. And it's like you watch it, it's a one-off, and you watch it. Now, I watched it on this, and I'm just, I don't have anything. I have no memory really of it.
You wouldn't, because it's fucking bland as fuck.
Yeah. It's got really weird cast as well. Like it's got Ben Affleck in it.
And do you know he's not bad?
Yeah.
He's not bad.
It's obviously got Gwyneth Paltrow. It's got the other Fiennes.
Yeah, Joseph.
There's other people in it, but I can't fucking remember any of them.
Wasn't Joseph Fiennes nominated this year for? Isn't he in something else? He's not nominated.
Not for lead, anyway.
No, he's in Elizabeth. Is
he in Elizabeth as well?
He's
come on.
Main love interest in Elizabeth, actually, as it happens.
That's ridiculous. Why is he doing that?
So is Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Rush is in...
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Jeffrey Rush, but I thought I was just getting confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you have Elizabeth and you have Shakespeare in Love.
You've got Joseph Fiennes and Jeffrey Rush in both Shakespeare in Love and Elizabeth.
That's mental. That's so weird.
Playing really key parts in both as well, yeah.
Just think how odd that is that you, as an actor, you've gone like, oh, Shakespeare, okay,
yeah.
Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Elizabeth in Shakespeare in Love as well?
Yeah, there's Elizabeth. Shakespeare in Love is the Elizabethan age. Yeah,
yeah, but like the character is played by
she is
Judi Dench, right?
Judi Dench, yeah,
Judy won, I think, the Oscar for supporting.
I think she did actually, yeah, which is not right because it's a hammy turn.
Like,
I mean, she's great, but it's a hammy turn.
It's a cameo, basically, right?
Oh, it's a really small part she's in it. Yeah,
I don't really like the supporting nods where you go like they're on screen for like 3 minutes and you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Supporting should be.
I mean, they'd have to leave a serious mark on the film, and she doesn't. Do you know what? Like, it's not awful. It's one of those that it's like a TV movie. You know, it was on TV. Watch it with your mum. You know, on an evening.
It's very much my parents. When I watched it, I reckon my parents were just like, "Oh, you watch Shakespeare in Love? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Watch it with your mum. It'll fill an evening. It's fine. Best 5 films of the year. What a joke! What a joke!
Yeah, it's particularly when we get I know, particularly when we get to the other movies of note as well. Okay, so last one on the nominees, The Thin Red Line.
Beg your pardon? What's that?
The last one of the nominees?
Yeah.
Thin Red Line?
Oh,
sorry, The Thing Red Line? There we go.
Sorry,
yeah. Sorry, I mispronounced there, Carl. I missed off the G.
Yeah.
Apologies. Right. I'm going to be honest, Carl.
You've not seen it?
I've owned this DVD for about 15 years. I've still not seen it, and I don't know why. What is wrong with me? I've owned the DVD. I can just take the DVD down. I can put it in the DVD player, Blu-ray player. I can play this movie. Why have I not watched it? I don't understand. Why did I not find time to watch it as part of this prep, where it's clearly part of the prep? What is wrong with me? Let's not go too deep, though, because we haven't got time.
I think you will either really like it or you will think it's a waste of time because it's long. Mm-hmm. It is very different in tone to Saving Private Ryan. It's much more contemplative and sort of artful, maybe.
This is a Malick one, right?
It's a Terrence Malick, yeah. Now, it's not without its similarities to Saving Private Ryan either, because there are a few scenes when the soldiers are going into battle, and it really does a great job of capturing the sort of futility and brutality of war. Mm-hmm.
Is this a little bit like Platoon versus Apocalypse Now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more like Dunkirk versus Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
I think that's what it's like, which is sort of silly because I'm also saying it's the Thin Red Line versus Saving Private Ryan. Right? Yeah. Because there are a lot of characters in the Thin Red Line, but they're not very well developed, and it's much more sort of arty. Now, the approach is different because Nolan goes for actually very tight. So I think it's his shortest film, Dunkirk. It's like an hour 40 or something like that. Because he's not developing the characters, so it's very much like we get in, we move through the plot.
Yeah, it's very unconcerned with character.
Yeah, and we're out. Thin Red Line takes its time a lot more, but it's sort of similarly unconcerned with characters and more concerned with like narratives around sort of war. And he's talking about how that changes men and how it affects them. I mean, there is a middle ground available as well, just to cover all bases. You might think it's all right, but I feel like I can see you going, oh yeah, no, I really enjoyed the tone of what it was going for, or you go, fuck me, it's long and I was bored.
Okay,
so
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to fill these remaining gaps.
I liked it a lot.
Cool. Hopefully, I'll do this before we next record, so I can report back.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Changes and things that may have missed out. I'm going to lead things off here. And this is an odd one for me. American History X, right?
Yeah.
This was nominated for Best Actor. So they're aware of this film existing. I don't get why this isn't one of the 5. I think it's a fantastic film.
It's a good film, yeah.
Ed Norton, fantastic.
Yeah.
Edward Furlong is great in this as well.
Quite good Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
In a couple of things.
He's not, I mean, obviously, Terminator 2 and this, I can't name you anything else beyond that.
He was in a film where he ends up in jail. Is it Locked Up or something? Or Lock Up?
I mean, he's still.
That might be this.
I genuinely looked at his IMDb to see if he was dead. He's not.
He's just into drugs instead.
Yeah, well, quite possibly.
No, he is.
Oh, he is, right. Yeah. Okay.
That's why his career is sort of stalled.
Inevitable, almost, you would think, but hey-ho. But I think this is a really powerful movie. And one that I thought would be pretty Oscar worthy. Like, I don't think it's not like controversial in a way that it's like.
Well, Nazis are bad, aren't they? So.
Well, that's what I mean. But it's like it's not tackling. It's not like a Train Spotting, where it's like could be accused of glorifying, although it's obviously not glorifying. But it's not glorifying anything.
No.
But it's a powerful topic, and I feel like it should have been up there for the best picture side of things. I really like it.
Yeah, fair shout. I think I mentioned this earlier, The Truman Show, which did get nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah, and Ed Harris got nominated, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. I think that is a good film. I think that could have been in with a shout.
This got nominated for Best Director, Original Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actor, and didn't get a Best Film. And you look at the other things it's in. This
is it, yeah.
It seems strange.
Yeah. I think you've got, other films I enjoy from this year. Big Lebowski, I think is very funny.
We've said about this, though, haven't we?
I would say...
You haven't rewatched this since we've spoken recently?
No, I haven't, no.
Because you were a bit afraid of rewatching.
I know, because I love that film. I'm like, whatever, watch it, it's shit.
It's another Coen's, right? So.
A friend of mine, he knows who he is, has rewatched it recently and said, don't worry, it holds up.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's okay.
Yeah, need to rewatch.
I enjoy Armageddon. That must have been up for a Razzie. But again, as that sort of popcorn experience, it's a decent disaster movie.
And as we know, Deep Impact.
Yeah, well,
same year.
Deep Impact, same year, and Deep Impact is definitely the more serious film.
Armageddon's so fun.
This is it. Which one? You could conceivably in a spot where you'd go, yeah, Deep Impact's a better film. Which one do you want to watch? Armageddon, thank you. Yeah,
100%. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yes.
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Not even at the BAFTAs. Which is weird.
Bizarre. Yeah. I think it's great. I think that's a real miss. To be fair, it again captures that time. And again, maybe it's just UK based. It's not really a global thing or American.
No, but that's the one that went on to launch Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. And associated
it must have had a
actors
splash
with it as well.
Statham.
Yeah.
It must have had a splash.
So surprising that that's not there. The only other one, just going back to The Truman Show, sorry. So this is obviously not on the same level as Robin Williams and stuff, but Carey playing a straightish character from there, and I found a complete revelation like this alongside Eternal Sunshine. It showed that he's like a genuinely good actor.
Yeah,
I think the concept of The Truman Show as well is just fantastic, and just what's the word? Like it like preempted the actual world.
Salient.
Yeah, there you go. Of where we went with TV and stuff, with the reality stuff. It preempted that stuff. So it showed sort of great foresight there. The only other one I wanted to call out was Enemy of the State.
Yes, I like Enemy of the State.
Why do I like Enemy of the State so much? Gene Hackman, Will Smith.
Yeah, but it's Gene Hackman. Yeah. A lot of people call that a spiritual sequel to The Conversation.
Yeah.
because they don't sort of. It's not a direct sequel, and different people know it, but like a lot of the tropes and traits are sort of in there as well.
It's one I've not rewatched.
Really
I had it on VHS, watched it a lot.
I like it. I've seen it not too long ago. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think you're missing one. Ronin.
Yeah. It suffers again from the one of not seen it for so long, and didn't watch it as a teen. So you know when you watch those as a teen and you're like, oh yeah, it's ingrained in me. This one I watched sort of in mid 20s and didn't leave a mark.
It's Bob De Niro on about as good form as you've seen him. Jean Reno is excellent in it. It is Jason Bourne before Jason Bourne knew fucking the light of day. It really has got some proper gritty modern spycraft in it.
You watched that quite recently, right?
I watched that recently. It's a very good film.
I remember you mentioning it.
Really, really like it. The only other one, which I ultimately don't think is much of a travesty, it missed out, but Godzilla again got a bit panned. Matthew Broderick and Jean Reno.
We might come back to this.
As a sort of like popcorn movie, big Hollywood production, it's fun, you know.
But there's a couple of others like real important movies. So Blade,
right? Yeah,
comic book movie.
Yeah, but it's not.
I mean, it is a comic book movie.
It is, but it's not in the vein of comic book movies today, is it?
No, but it's really important for Marvel from an actual successful comic book movie. So it's again one of those. It's probably a really important movie in terms of what's come. Yeah.
They play that straight.
And I love watching. I used to love Blade.
It's cool.
Again, not
very cool. Chris
As
Christopherson as well. Ooh.
Yes, yeah. And then the only other one I called out was Out of Sight with George Clooney and J-Lo.
I think I have seen that, but a long time ago.
Again, that is sexy as fuck. That is brilliant. But it's probably not.
You're talking about breasts again?
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's her ass, isn't it, J-Lo?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but it is great. Again, one of those that I watched at the time. I don't think I've seen it since, but it's just one of those just seems so cool.
Tell you what, Clooney's not bad as well.
You would. Yeah. Okay, nominees, Carl. What have you got?
So I'm keeping Saving Private Ryan. Mm-hmm. I'm keeping The Thin Red Line. Fucking hell. Oh. Forgot my own joke. I'm keeping Life is Beautiful. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking getting rid of Shakespeare in Love. Come on now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drop Ronin in there. I think that's...
So what have we got? Go on, just give me the rundown.
Great film. So, Saving Private Ryan, Life is Beautiful, The Thin Red Line, Ronin, and The Truman Show.
Okay, right. So we're a little bit different. So we've got American History X, Life is Beautiful, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Saving Private Ryan, and The Truman Show.
Mm.
So I think this is the year we've differed most from the Academy. So we got rid of Elizabeth was definitely gone.
Yeah.
Shakespeare in Love was definitely gone.
Yeah.
From both of us, and The Thin Red Line was gone for me, but only because I've not seen it.
Yeah.
So lots of change. Winner for you, Carl. Who's your winner?
Did agonise about this a little bit. I could give it to any four, maybe except The Truman Show. I think it's my sort of weakest one. But I've gone with Saving Private Ryan. I think some of the best war set pieces committed to cinema. Really good stuff.
I can see Saving Private Ryan as being the most likely next winner. You know what I mean? If Shakespeare in Love didn't exist, you could see Saving Private Ryan winning this. However...
By the way, I just want to say again how fucking mad it is that Saving Private Ryan didn't win over Shakespeare in Love.
It's very bizarre.
The Academy. Oh, dear. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Having said that, I've not gone for Saving Private Ryan.
But the Academy are idiots. What do they know?
Yeah. I've gone for Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's solely based on my individual ratings that I've got. Life is Beautiful is the highest rated one that I've got from that, and I think the one that has left a lasting memory for me. So, hey, foreign film wins Oscar. Shock.
Should have been the second one after Real Postina. There you go.
But there we go. Right. All right, let's move on to the data section. But first, we will recap our Best Picture winners versus what actually happened. So, for each of the years in turn, we have 1995. The actual winner was Forrest Gump. Carl went for Leon, and I went for The Lion King. 1996, the actual winner was Braveheart. Carl went for Toy Story, and I went for Before Sunrise. 1997, the actual winner was The English Patient. Carl went for Independence Day, and Simon went for The English Patient. 1998, the actual was Titanic. Carl went for LA Confidential, and I went for Good Will Hunting. And 1999, the actual was Shakespeare in Love. Carl went for Saving Private Ryan, and I went for Life is Beautiful. So, interestingly, Carl, although we largely seem to be agreeing throughout the whole thing, we've not agreed on a single Best Picture winner throughout the 5 years, and we've only agreed with one of the academies, and that was The English Patient.
It's reassuring to know that you're still wrong, even when we're agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah. I can get all the way there, apart from the right answer.
Yes, the format is alive and well.
Good stuff. So to finish off today, we're just going to sort of recap through the whole things. And as we do normally, we're going to talk about our best characters. We're also going to add in our best overall actor or actress. I think they just like to be called actors now, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just like male and female actors. It's just whatever. Best and our overall best pictures across the different years. We'll also name our most rewatchable, our biggest travesty, our strongest and weakest year, and our biggest tearjerker, our saddest movie of it. So let's kick things off, Carl, with your best 5 characters, and we'll alternate this. Have you got them in order, or you just got like a 5?
It's just a 5 because it's like a super cut, right? We don't need one from every year. It's just the best.
This
5.
is across the 5 years. The characters you could have 5 from one year if you wanted.
Yeah. Okay, so I have got an honourable mention, and it's from Braveheart, and it's Edward Longshanks,
played by
Patrick McGoohan. Fans of The Prisoner, the 60s TV show, will know who Patrick McGoohan is. Very good.
Why do you like him?
Why do I like the character?
Yeah.
Oh, he's loads of fun. He's an absolute bastard. And it's he's very well portrayed by McGoohan. He's a lot of fun, but he doesn't quite make the cut. So my best 5 are Jules Winfield.
Yeah, never knew his surname was Winfield, by the way.
No, me neither. Jules Winfield from Pulp Fiction. Verbal Kint from The Usual Suspects.
Yep.
Mr. Kobayashi.
Yep.
Also from The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
John Mason. Yes.
The Rock.
Yes, The Rock. And then Stephen, again from Braveheart, played by David O'Hara.
Wow, 2 from Braveheart.
It's My Island. He's so much fun in that. He really keeps the film moving along and provides some levity in some of the more brutal scenes. Very good. What's your 5?
So my 5 are Forrest Gump.
Okay, basic bitch.
I started off basic. Okay, I get Jules from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Jules Winfield.
Yeah.
Again, Winfield. I mean, who knew? I've gone for Carl Sholter from Fargo, Steve Buscemi's character.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for Scar, The Lion King.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah, and Truman Burbank from The Truman Show.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your winner, Carl?
This guy, and again, it's got a lot to do with the actor, but this guy is ridiculous in this film. It's crazy how cool he is and how menacing and how just fucking everything. And it's Jules Winfield, as portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Have you seen the meme where it says "Stairs motherfuckerly"? No. Jules out of Pulp Fiction. Stairs motherfuckerly. I was like, yeah.
I like it. So I've gone for Scar.
It's good. Jeremy Irons.
And he's a villain. He is the most villainous villain.
Yeah.
I've gone for Scar.
It's good.
Gone for a lion.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. All right, we move on to best actor / actress, or female or male actor,
Or she.
or yeah, whatever you want. So I'll go first with my. Oh, I've named 6. Oh, that's an error.
Oh, you got to pick an honourable mention quickly.
Right. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Honourable mention is Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy for Before Sunrise. I can't separate them. I couldn't separate them when we were talking about Before Sunset. I still can't separate them. They're my honourable mention. So I'm staying basic, as you say. Hanks for Forrest Gump. Robin Williams for Good Will Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Juliette Binoche for English Patient.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Harris for Apollo 13. And Samuel L. Jackson for Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Binoche over Delpy.
Yeah, but the thing, we've talked about this before, separating Hawke and Delpy is challenging for me. So I didn't, they're both so good in it.
Okay.
But calling one over the other is challenging. I didn't want to include 2 of them.
Yeah, okay. So I do have an honourable mention again. It's Massimo Tracy.
Rest in peace.
Il Pacido, yeah. I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
Now, I have separated Hawke and Delpy, and I've gone for Ethan Hawke in Before Sunrise.
Okay.
Delpy's great. I just think Ethan Hawke edges it. Natalie
Because
Portman.
he's a man, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes, I hate women swimming. That's what you want to hear, isn't it? Yes. Natalie Portman, Leon.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Tom Hanks, but not in Forrest Gump, just because he puts on a silly voice. Saving Private Ryan.
He's so convincing as Forrest, though.
He's good. I like the Saving Private Ryan portrayal better because he is more skillfully wearing his sort of baggage, if you know what I mean. Tim Spall, Secrets and Lies.
Oh,
fantastic.
Wow, okay.
Again, actually, really similar to what I've just said. Spall finds himself in the middle of a lot of shit going round, and he's the one that's most put upon in the film. And he wears that so well. It's not overblown, but he's letting you into just little bits at a time. How it's wearing him down. Very, very good.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, really good. Of course, Barry in I'll Be the Same Pet, which I like to go back to our hutch. Anyway, but my 5th name is Roberto Benigni.
Yeah.
No, how would you say that?
Benini?
Yeah.
Benini. Benini. I think Benini.
Yeah. Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful.
Ooh. And who's your winner, Carl?
I really wish I could say it was Roberto Benigni, but I think it is Natalie Portman for Leon.
Okay. Nice. I'm going for Hanks.
Forrest Gump, you
Yes.
basic bitch.
I don't care.
Oh, my word. Forrest Gump.
Anyone who can do that without bursting into laughter whilst doing it gets my best actor nom.
That's about all I have to say.
All right. We move on to our best of best pictures. Our bestest picture, you could call it. So we've already said what our best pictures was. Best picture was.
Yeah,
best
but from each
were.
year, I'm not bound by years.
Oh, so you're going across the whole thing?
It's across the whole. It's a super cut, mate.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. You'd hope.
I can still only pick one as a winner, so
you can. Do you want to just go for the? Are you going for your top 5, or are you?
Well, my honourable mention, LA Confidential. Didn't want to leave it out, but did. My best 5: Leon, Pulp Fiction, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh wow! Wait, top 5.
Because of just the set pieces, they're so good. Toy Story. No, fuck that, right? LA Confidential's in over Saving Private Ryan. Honourable mention, Saving Private Ryan, Leon, Pulp Fiction, LA Confidential, Toy Story, The Usual Suspects.
Oh, wow, okay. So I didn't do the same as you.
We only had a phone call about this after you didn't listen the first time.
Yeah. So I've gone from the best of the 5 of the best picture winners that I'd selected. So I had The Lion King, Before Sunrise, English Patient, Good Will Hunting, Life is Beautiful, which is fine. I'm happy with those 5. That's fine. What's your ultimate bestest picture?
think it's Leon.
Really?
5 stars. I gave it 5 stars.
So mine is also a 5-star film. Now, I've got 2 5-star films on this list. One is Before Sunrise. The other is The Lion King. I'm going for The Lion King. Fuck it, I don't care.
It's fair
I
enough.
think it's almost like a perfect animation.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
As perfect as a film can be perfect.
The one that came... it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
What were you going to say?
No, it's fine. It's good. Let's move on.
Oh, now I'm more interested.
I've already talked myself out of one on and rearranged my my best 5 supercut.
Is there one you were thinking needed?
No. I can't put in a second honourable mention. It's ridiculous. Right, come on.
Okay. Most rewatchable from all the years across the zone. What we got?
It could be Toy Story.
Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't completely omitted Toy Story from literally everything, that might have been up there for sure.
It could be Toy Story. I didn't rewatch Toy Story, though, when we were prepping for this.
I don't think you need to, though.
No, it could be Toy Story. But the one I enjoyed most and could see me popping on again and again and again is not necessarily the one I think is the best. I think it's Pulp Fiction. And I think it's that thing of there's no story, it's all plot. You can just drop that on. You could come in halfway through.
No, that's exactly my point I was going to say. I don't think I'd even watch that all the way through.
Nah.
Like, I would watch that 40 minutes in, an hour and a half in.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you can pick up at any point and you go, oh, fuck me, this is cool, this is fun. Oh, this is the bit where he does that. Yeah. I think it's Pulp Fiction. It's a superb film.
Solid choice. I've gone for Apollo 13 only because I had so much fun with it this time, and I think it's almost infinitely rewatchable. And shout out to Will as well, because this is his I'm ill, I'm going to put on this film.
Yeah.
And before I kind of scoffed at him, but having rewatched it, I'm kind of like, shit, I kind of agree with you now. So there you go. Biggest travesty, Carl. What was the biggest travesty? So this could be an omission. It could be the one that won Best Picture and shouldn't have.
I've got 2. I mean, the biggest travesty in terms of omissions for me is Toy Story. I can't believe that didn't get nominated. It's superb. It's seminal. It stands on its own as a good film, regardless of it's a kids' film.
I think seminal is right as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think of all the pictures that followed that from Pixar as a result of it. And
it's
what
incredible.
Hanks, by the way, great in that.
Do you know who does the toys?
Who does the toys?
So the voice in the toys, the Woody toys? It's his brother, Jim.
Toy, isn't it Hanks that does it?
No, it's not Tom that does it, it's his brother, Jim.
That's funny.
They look quite similar, but they sound exactly the same. And his brother, Jim Hanks, makes quite a lot of money by doing Tom Hanks's voice for toys, video games, a lot of voice acting work. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, quite funny. Toy Story. The franchise is really strong as well. Like the sequels, very, very good.
So interesting. I saw a thing online the other day of Quentin Tarantino saying he refuses to watch Toy Story 4 because they've already made the perfect trilogy. Why does Toy Story 4 exist?
Yeah.
Until you watch Toy Story 4 and you go, it's still fucking great.
Yeah, still
like it's just they've managed to make a trilogy and then another film which also forms a perfect part of that trilogy. So yeah. I mean,
it's really good. That's the biggest travesty in terms of omissions for me. In terms of what's nominated /won, I mean, it's Shakespeare in Love.
It is Shakespeare in Love. Yeah,
fuck is that?
It's Shakespeare in Love. This is a clear example of the studio Miramax. Remind me who's involved in Miramax. He's a really nice guy, right?
Weinstein, is it?
Yeah. They clearly drove that movie to a win through nefarious means. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I wouldn't go as far as say it's a bad film, but it's certainly not the best movie of the year, or even in the top 5 movies of the year. It's just the one that stands out the most to me across these 5 years of just in no world. Sorry, no, never, no. The other ones you can kind of squint and say, maybe. I suppose maybe. But that one, no, not for me. Strongest year, Carl, out of the 5 that we've gone through?
Just pipping 1996. And when we say 1996, we're talking about the Oscars of 1996, which means we're mostly talking about films from 1995.
Yep.
Just pipping 96 are the Oscars from 1995. And you agree as well?
Yeah, I
don't you?
agree. Yeah. I tried to avoid saying 1995 because it was like the first year I worked through and did it. But you got Forrest Gump, you got Pulp Fiction, you got Shawshank, and you've got the additional of Lion King. Those 4 films.
Yeah.
That is a strong 4.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
And 1996 was the one that pushed it close. But the other 3 were a distant second, third, fourth.
Yeah, it's good years.
Yep.
Halcyon days.
Indeed. Until we do the next block and we're like, oh, halcyon days. Yeah. Weakest year.
Okay, the weakest year. I mean, honestly, you could have picked any of the other 3. We're talking about 97, 98, 99. I think 98 just pips them. I think 98's the weakest year.
Yeah, I mean, before, I'd obviously written this down before we went through it. I wrote 97 or 98, just 97.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I might have changed my mind. It might be 98, having gone through it. Just
It's,
on the others, you know, like the
exactly,
other movies
the
that you
depth.
have.
The depth isn't there. Titanic, I don't think is that great. As good as it gets, is weird. Full Monty's good. Good Will Hunting's good. LA Confidential's great. But then after that,
That's
there's
what I mean.
nothing. I mean, I pull in The Lost World and it's good. It's fine.
Yeah, that's
but it's a long way
sign.
behind Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Liar Liar is good. It's fine. It's a long way behind The Mask and Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Tomorrow Never Dies is good. It's fine. It's a long way behind Gold. And this is the thing. It's a fallow year.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Tearjerker, the saddest film from this period, or I read this as, you know, the one most likely that made you emotional, tear up, or some description of that. I like. What have you got?
There's a few to go at. I mean, that's to be expected with the Oscars, right? You could have Gump, you could have The Lion King. I mean, honestly, if I was to do this, we talk about tearjerker and stuff, and, you know, are you sat there sobbing? No.
Is this the single tear?
Yeah, like, you know, and that varies on the mood you're in and all the rest of it, yada, yada, yada. And Lion King's one of those where I go, that scene where Mufasa dies.
No!
I'm just like, oh my God. I've told you before, I think I mentioned on here that Missy's taking the piss out of me. Are you crying? It's just so sad. Leon, I think, has got some really touching moments. Il Postino, Secrets and Lies, Life is Beautiful. I think honourable mention to Il Postino, especially the ending. Life is Beautiful.
By the way, Il Postino, we didn't talk about this. That ending came from fucking nowhere.
Oh, it's a gut punch. It's an absolute gut punch.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Bastards.
I
wonder whether that was a post decision as well.
Oh, I don't know.
After he died, whether they changed that.
I don't know. It's a great way to end the film, though. I'll say that. It's an absolute gut punch, but yeah, it's Life is Beautiful. Like I say, tonally, a couple of issues with that film, but maybe that's a necessary evil sort of thing. But yeah, Christ Almighty, that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you've just said. Shit. But damn it, that doesn't fit with the format. But I've gone with Lion King, because it does. It's a literally and every time kind of thing. It does get you. I've seen the fucking musical of it on stage. It does the same fucking thing.
Oh Christ, yeah. I had a fun moment with Titanic, right? Because I didn't care about the central premise of Titanic,
the central pair. Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't going to get me. This film, this isn't going to get me. And then when they're getting off the lifeboats, there's a scene where a father ushers his wife and son onto the lifeboats. He said, Don't worry, I'll get the next one. I just, no, you won't. You win again, Hollywood.
And it is, and it's stupid to say, but the things that usually do get me is it's a parent and a child thing.
Yeah,
and that is what gets you. It's what got me in Apollo 13.
Yeah,
it was the family thing. It's what gets me in Lion King.
You can't outrun it.
What gets me in Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you can't outrun it.
Yeah. But it's been good. I've quite enjoyed watching these sentimental films, and I've realised that my tear ducts still do work, which is a positive sign. And I've got a few gaps to fill as well. So this has been a fun little exercise. I kind of if I had an extra week to prepare, I could have watched all of these remaining ones and filled those gaps. But I'll try and do a bit more before the next one and update on any that I need to. So yeah, there we go. Carl, have you got anything else?
Nope.
Oh, then that is all we have got. So if we moved the needle for you, or even if we didn't, please do rate us, follow, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It really does send a dick pic to the algorithm and get us out there to a larger, less emotionally damaged audience. Our Twitter and Instagram is MTM MoviePod. Our YouTube channel is at Movie the Needle. You can also find our page on Facebook and some occasional TikToks at movie.the.needle. All details are in the show description, so please do follow and comment wherever you are. It really does help us. So from me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
So I'm off to go reflect on some of the things I've admitted to today and then get over that and go see if there's any Clint Eastwood, Meryl Streep sexy time clips out there, for research. Goodbye.
It's a bit of a weird analogy.